enter a time where all suffering ends. You're going to see that all suffering of man and the living woman stops. On the other side, through out-of-body states, I've been shown the potential future events of this occurring, and it is a true celebration. And other interviews have been hesitant to share these things. I'm telling you, that's where things are headed. This place only changes when souls realize who they are again. That's the only way that this place will truly change, back into heaven on earth.
When you're talking about the other side, are you referring to heaven?
When you are on the other side, your soul is able to create things of that which it desires to do. You could say that we're created in the image of our soul, which is what's the soul? It's God. So then this is where you go, and we are created in the image of God as well, because every single soul is that. When you're on the other side, you are back home again. So when you want to create something, you don't need to be birthed into that experience. You walk into that experience with your soul fully in the know of everything. Imagine that you are walking in the city. The sidewalk, the road, that's the other side. That's the base level of everything. And all of the different buildings are different constructs, creations for the soul. And you could step into one, have your full memory of who you are from on the sidewalk to walking into that building. And then you choose to walk back out, walk down the street, go into another one, step back out, or create your own based off of your love.
But what if we decide that we want to, become fully enlightened, realize the self, and not come back?
You are never forced here unless you believe it to be so. And therefore you create that by giving your power away. So when you, the soul, makes the choice that I'm done, when you leave here, you don't need to come back here. I don't fear death. I just don't fear things because I know where I'm returning back to. I know my home.
Are there different realms and dimensions?
So we live within the construct. Also scientifically, you would call it the universe. This is just one out of many, many constructs, many creations exist on the other side. This particular one that we are within, this particular universe that we are within, has a total of 12 realms, or what you would call 12 heavens.
What do you feel is like the most misunderstood aspect of what the afterlife truly is?
Death has a lot of fear attached to it, and you always remain, you always live forever. You are an eternal being. Manifestation is just the creation based off the will of your soul. Physically, we do that here. When you're out of your body, you do that, but it's very quick. Whatever you are constantly putting in the forefront of your consciousness will start to create your reality. Once you leave here and you have the out-of-body state, you experience true freedom again.
Hi, everyone. Before we get into the podcast, I just wanted to say 90% of you that are watching this right now aren't subscribed, and it would mean the world to us if you would. So if you can hit that subscribe button and the notifications icon, that would truly help us out and help us to give you the content that you want to watch. So thank you so much, and here we go on the podcast.
I want to ask you, Darius, are there any specific ancient texts or scriptures that you have ever studied or looked upon when you were starting off your journey, at least? I know it's been a while now, but...
No, I haven't. Even when I was showing the first time the Laws of Mente, just to show you, I want to go back as well. I actually can't necessarily even read, just to give people more context. Yeah, I can't. I'm what you would call, when I read certain things, words start to change and go backwards on me. It's very hard for me, so I need to actually listen to things. Yeah. And so when I tell people I don't read, sometimes they don't believe me, but I actually can. Well, that's the reason why. So I never looked into things like that. I've always asked people, what does this mean? Or some people are asking me certain things, or they're showing me something. I have to ask somebody else, what is that? What does that say? So they can, tell it to me. Now, I say that because the information about which I'm gathering is coming from this state, and you would say just remembering the information, as well. First time I was in the halls of the Mente, I had no idea what that was. I had no idea. The first time that I was taken there, I thought that the halls of the Mente, and I've said this before, I thought that it was actually hell or something, the way that it was pronounced to me. And then I come back out of the experience, and I was showing exactly, and I accessed one of the entrances into that area. I was like, okay, what is all of the, and all the information was pulling up. I was like, wow, it's exactly where I was. And so this is why, even when you hear me say a lot of these scriptures, Christianity, like in terms of the text there in the Bible, or certain texts within India, the ancient civilizations, the Greek, Romans, indigenous people here in Australia, a lot of these are all very, very true and accurate, minus a lot of the deception that has taken place to put souls into fear. So when you look at a lot of these things, and even the things that you studied, if you start to then shift the soul, okay, here are these bits of truth, but then if you do not do this, then you will suffer and be forever trapped into hell, or other different versions of how they explain it. Yeah. Then you've already forgotten at the most basic sense that you can never control and trap a soul unless you believe it to be so. And you cannot have ultimate expression of freedom with a limitation. And all these things are limitations that is in place on you, the soul. And you are not limited unless you believe these things. Yeah. So, yeah, I know that's a big, probably going off a little bit off topic, Cook.
No, that gives a good context to what I was wanting to get at. In any of your experiences and that you've had, have you ever had any vision or maybe insight, if you want to call it, about the future of humanity's consciousness, where we are going in terms of our collective consciousness?
Okay, yeah, we're moving into a time where all suffering ends, and that's where we're going, and that's where we're headed. There's a lot of different things that will be building up to that, because once you start moving in that direction, all is revealed. You can't say that you become awake and aware to things without realizing all of the negative things that have been done to put people in this place to begin with. Yeah. So the future that will occur is you're going to see that all suffering of man and a living woman stops. There's many different paths and stuff to get there, but that's where we're headed. That's where we're going. That's what I've been showing on the other side through my out-of-body states. I've been showing the potential future events of this occurring, and it is a true celebration. And in other interviews, I've been hesitant to share these things. I've shared it maybe once or twice, but I'm telling you, that's where things are headed. Yeah. And you could see it. Right now, you are seeing the destruction of all things that control people. Yeah. You're seeing it through the old systems. Right now, even yourself and people that are listening to this from the younger generation now of age no longer want to tolerate this place, this systems of control. Because you could see past it. So what happens when the majority of souls see past this? And they were all collectively there. The only reason why this continues, the way it is continuing right now, the only reason is because you have souls that choose to stand down out of love, even though they know the truth of things. And standing down and not doing anything when you see things happening, you become and you support the very evil of that which you say you do not want here. And so things are going to change. And it's not to put you in a place where you just sit back and do nothing, but it only changes with you. This place only changes when souls realize who they are, the creation of this, in love. That's when this changes. That's the only way that this place will truly change. Back into heaven on earth, or whatever you would like to call it. Because you cannot, this place will not change in that way. The people try to change it with the same level of consciousness, same level of control systems that have enslaved them in the first place. I know cryptocurrency is a new thing, but as long as money exists, there's always going to be people that have and have not. And any form of that is putting a soul into enslavement. We are the only people here that ought to pay to live in that which we were born. And it wasn't meant to be that way at all. So even when you move into other forms of this and that, you're still using the same consciousness that has put you and put souls in this place of where they are now, in the amount of suffering. And the only way breaking past that to the end of all suffering is when each soul realizes unconditional love in their home and where they return back to. Because once they realize that and truly realize that en masse, you cannot tell me that they will not start acting in a place of love and not doing the things to try to control and suppress other people here, done out of fear, done out of stress. Because as I said before, in love, there is no pain, there is no suffering, there is no control, there is no stress. You see? So that will be the greatest shift within this realm. Yeah, it was the one that occurs, and that is what I was shown occurs. And I can't give you all the details of maybe that which you, because I don't know. I just know that is what occurs, and I just know that what you're doing, what I'm doing, and what people are doing is all just lining up to that occurring. So I know I'm the one being interviewed here, but congratulations to you as well for just participating in it. And that's not coming from a place of new agey, or it's just not, seriously, like, thank you for doing what you did, even if you're conscious of it or unconscious of it. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think kind of this is probably what happened with you, but since I became aware of who I am and my true nature, it's just like what I was suffering from, a lot of those things, whether it was because of that ignorance, they went away, and I realized that it is possible for everyone else to feel the same way. That's what we're here to do. Everything else are just activities. You earn money, you do your job, and that's all good, but that's obviously not why we are here and we've been put here.
No, activities are going to start changing. So when you're on the other side, you could say you still do work, but that work is not the way the leap-in program work is. You think of work, you think of, I gotta go to work, I'm enslaved, because in essence you are, if you feel that way. But the works that the souls will do, or the things that they do, the work that they're going to do, will be in a place of their ultimate fulfillment and joy. And that's what when souls do that and they move into that place, that is what brings about new things that have never been birthed before. Let's just say technology, free energy, the understanding of who we are. Because you never access those true places of divinity and truth unless you were in a place of love. Those places never even open up to you unless you're in that place. So the moment you step into that place is when these things will start to manifest in this realm of heaven again. So yeah, that's okay.
You've mentioned the other side many times throughout this conversation, Darius. I need to ask you, when you're talking about the other side, are you referring to what we refer to as heaven? And if that is the case, what is there? Does it look like what we see on planet Earth? I know you're talking about how the work is different, but what is it that makes it so special and, I don't know, illuminating in that sense?
Okay, well, it goes back into that you're just free now, too. So when you are on the other side, your soul is able to create things of that which it desires to do. You could say that's your soul is at work doing those things, yeah, to create something that you desire to experience and be. And then who does that benefit on the other side? Well, it benefits you because you're in love, but it also benefits those, each and every soul as well, because if they desire to ask you something or based off the experience in your creation, then everybody could learn something. Yeah. The same thing, then I could learn something from you, you could learn something from me. But when we're talking about specifically this construct, this is just one out of many. And you could say this particular one, we are the Sarah. Yeah. So, and I'll just leave it there in consider.
Do you have any specific opinion or, I guess, insight about the concept of reincarnation, to come back after back and have multiple lives, in the sense that, and I don't know if this is what you believe, but that the consciousness is one that doesn't change, but we are taking different bodies as if we're changing clothes life after life, and that's what I mean by reincarnation. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so what you just said is, if you choose to come back here or experience this, then you would be doing just that. You'd just be changing clothes. But it's interesting too, because your soul on the other side carries a certain imprint of, let's just say, physical body. And so you could say that we're created in the image of our soul, what's the soul? It's God. So then this is where you go, and we are created in the image of God as well, because every single soul is that. Yeah, it's all living within you. And so the soul has this perfect template, perfection. And based off what I've observed, it seems to be that even though there's distortions here, there's distortions within the physical body in terms of, things can be distorted, and when you're born and stuff, things don't look the way in the perfected state. But the body is actually you could say a mirror, a distorted mirror of the perfected version of what you look like on the other side. And this is where you get certain beings when they come back here, even yourself, if you remember being here before in the past. Yeah, you'll find, whether if you're a man or a woman, that even in the man you still carry similar attributes that you do now. You see, like the imprint that seems to remain very consistent. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, that does. It reminds me of, I love that. It reminds me of how in kind of the scriptures that I read of in Hinduism, that it talks about that the imprints that you're talking about, what we call like what you would call the imprints or the conditioning in the subtle body, in a sense, that comes back, with you life after life.
Yeah, that's really, really cool, because I didn't even know that that's what they were saying in that. So that's perfect in a lot of ways. But it's even what you were saying before. Incarnation. Yeah, incarnation is only an event that happens here within this realm we are within. So when you're on the other side, they think about it this way. Yeah? When you're on the other side, you are back home again. So when you want to create something, you don't need to be birthed into that experience. You walk into that experience with your soul fully in the know of everything. Yeah, you don't forget. On the other side, when you want to experience certain things, this is the place that you do. And so you temporarily forget. And therefore, because you temporarily forget, we're in you could say, the chaos that we are now as well. Yeah, experiencing the unforeseen events. But yeah, it's only something that happens here. And so, as I'll say as well, you could view it as this. Imagine that you are walking in a city. The city, let's just call the other side, the sidewalk, the road, that's the other side. That's the base level of everything. And all of the different buildings are different constructs, creations for the soul. And you could step into one, have your full memory of who you are from on the sidewalk to walking into that building. Remember, okay, I just walked in here. This looks different. This is a different rule set, a different creation, based off an individual soul or collective of souls. And then you choose to walk back out, walk down the street, go into another one, step back out, or create your own based off of your love. This is the only one where you step in here in forgetfulness. And you actually step in here. The things that I've witnessed and seen is when you step in here, there's actually I shared it's an image. I don't necessarily have it with me now to share it to you, but it's you stand in this water. Yeah. So you're standing in this water. And what happens is when you stand in this water, some people even come in here what is called pairings. People come in here with pairings as well. You could call them soul pairings. People call them original pairs. And when you come in here as pairings as well, you end up looking at each other as you're standing in this water. And then your memories start to bleed from you into the water. And this is where you could say, water contains all memory, all things. This is where you can actually look. You could write things in water or say scriptures or texts or anything, and it will actually create an image for you, because that is coming from the memories of us bleeding into the waters of this entire creation here. And so our memories bleed through the water, and then we step in here, and then we are born. Ironically, we're born through water as well. And this is where the memory is what I observed at sea. That's how it occurs here.
Yeah, let me ask you, Darius. So, like you said that we, if we choose to come back to Earth, then we would continue with that cycle of reincarnation and everything. But what if we decide that we want to, become fully enlightened, realize the self, and not come back? How does that work then?
Okay. So this goes into, again, you are never forced here. Yeah, unless you believe it to be so, you are never forced to come back here, forced reincarnation, unless you believe it to be so. And therefore you create that by giving your power away for it to be so. So when you, the soul, makes the choice that I am done, when you leave here, you don't need to come back here. Yeah. No one does. So yeah, nothing is forced upon you in that way.
So the reason do we choose to come back here is because we want to have these experiences that we are experiencing here with our relatives, with our friends, family, relationships, whether that's good or bad, whatever that is.
Some do, yeah. So some choose to come back here to have an experience of that way, but the majority of people that are here now are here for the completion of this as celebration about what I was talking about, for the mission, awaken people up, everybody again. Yeah.
In terms of, I think I heard you earlier saying that your practice or your meditation is the experience that you have. I don't know how long it's been since you started having this experience, or when you were walking this path. I'm not sure how many years it's been, but have you seen yourself personally, I'm talking from a specifically a relative level, I guess your perception before, which might have been causing you pain, and now that change has caused you to know that you are free, and essentially that pain is less, or that suffering is less. Do you feel that at all?
Yeah. So, I've had a lot of pain in my life, and that was from stepping out of what I understand to be true now, or the understanding of this, what I'm telling you. So I no longer fear things. Yeah, I don't fear death. I just don't fear things, because I know where I'm returning back to. I know my home. Yeah, and I know where we all return back to. So in essence, I mean, that tears on everything else. Like, I even know if things are projected at me, I still know to keep on walking that path. So pain is not a distant thing for me. I know it. I've experienced it, and I've experienced suffering. And I'm telling you, I have. But it's only from the place of stepping back into who I am, who we all are, remembering that is where it no longer matters anymore. Like, it can no longer stick to you. So, it's water becomes dead when it's no longer moving. Yeah. And the moment that you constantly move the waters within you, then nothing could die within you. As I said before, there is no pain in love. There is no suffering, fear, regret in love. So everything that I've experienced in pain was done from places of me not fully stepping into that. And it may sound like I'm just speaking these things without experience of the opposite of that, but I'm telling you that I have experienced that. And I won't go into details, but yeah.
The relationships that, that we have today, is the billion population in this planet, a lot of those relationships seem to have what I'd like to call, a karmic side to it, where, there is a pull, there is negativity. Did we choose that for our own spiritual evolution to realize and see the light?
So did we choose to come in here, repeat that again, sorry. Yeah. Just the shorter version of it.
Did we come here to experience those relationships that are even bad, where we know that there is a karmic pull, it's causing negativity, but we are experiencing that. So did we choose that to experience it over here?
No. So this is where I go into the unforeseen events, and this is where I try to give as much clarity, even though that which I'm saying, yeah. But it's not everybody has made the choice to experience the extremes quite like what is happening now. Yeah. So a lot of the pain and stuff, as I've stated to you, many people may think that I am supporting that, and I'm not at all. There are things that have been done that are, you could say, the unforgettable for souls. So the things that I've done is the unforgettable once you leave here. And it's not necessarily that you judged them, they judged themselves. Yeah. So many souls have just lost their way. They've temporarily lost their way. They've temporarily stepped out loved. They've temporarily is now expressing themselves in control towards others and causing harm towards others. And that can be changed, and I'll leave it there. I don't necessarily want to go too much into that, but just that could be changed. Yeah. Not necessarily that you're forced to experience that, because that's not necessarily true either.
Oh, yeah, that's it's wonderful that you're able to share these insights with, experience from your own self. I guess the last question I have here is, when you were talking about the other side, is that you have been to multiple times. Are there different realms and dimensions, or is there only one other side that we would call it as? Or are there multiple of these dimensions and realms?
Okay, so I'll try to clean up some terminology, just to make it very simple, just because this is the last question here. So within what you call universe, yeah, because you use the word planet, so we'll just use the word universe. That the universe is what I'm calling a construct, is what is. So we live within the construct. Also scientifically, you would call it the universe. This is just one out of many. The many constructs, many creations exist on the other side as well. This particular one that we are within, this particular universe that we are within, has a total of 12 realms, or what you would call 12 heavens, and the 13th being a container force of those heavens. When you look at the DNA, and you would have studied this as well, we have 13 helix DNA, 13 dimensional structures within our brain as well. So this particular universe has 12 total heavens that can be accessed outside of the body, and you could see it through what has been told to me as 12 stargates, so you can access those. I've covered this on a lot of different ones, but trying to keep it very simple, concise. once you leave this construct universe, that's where you are back home again. That's your state outside of this entirely. And when you're outside of this entirely, you could see the many different creations based off other souls' wills of creating that. Yeah. So there's many more things outside of here.
When you, I guess, first went outer body and you've had these experiences many, many times, did you receive any guidance or answers about, the bigger purpose that you're pursuing right now or your life's mission? Were there any signals that you received or any guidance from anyone when you went out and had these experiences?
Yeah. So I've been guided to certain places, and I won't necessarily go into all of the details there, but all throughout these experiences, I've been guided to remember certain things, showing certain tablets, books, information from the past, as you could say the true origins of that information, that the things that I'm sharing now are from those states and where I've been guided to see that information again. And now I'm in a place when I do these experiences where I know where to go. I know these people, and these people that have shown this to me aren't beings that I did not know. You could say the first couple of times coming out, I didn't recognize them, but I realized that they are actually part of what you call transcend, or what you would call even inside of, if you were looking into the pyramids and stuff, for a certain set or a certain clan or a certain kingdom. Yeah. And those memories started to return back to me of who they were the longer that I was out in accessing this information. And it's the reason why I'm even doing what I'm doing now, because I realize the importance of it. I realize the importance of doing this in integrity, doing it in love for the information as well. And making sure that it's, you could say, shared correctly to the best of my ability, trying to reach as many people as I possibly can to make sure people could hear this. Because this is not just, it's life-changing once you realize who you are. It changes your life forever. And when if this whole round were to realize this and see this and step into it, not just from a place of believing, but knowing it, this place would change instantly. And that's sort of the mission that you could say, a big mission, but is what I'm trying to do for my time here. And it's something that I will always remain doing for the rest of my time here. So yeah.
Yeah, I want to definitely go deeper into this because so I actually completed my graduation in consciousness studies from MIU in Iowa, and it was essentially the entire curriculum was on studying your true nature, who am I, who is God, why are you here, and it changed my life. It opened me up to this perception I didn't even know existed, to be honest. There were a lot of studies and case studies that we actually went through that showed the power of collective consciousness, as you were mentioning, that, there were a group of people who actually, became this knowledge, realized who they were practicing it, becoming it. There was no, the violence, the crime rates had decreased, depression had decreased, suicide rate had decreased, all these factors in comparison to a group that was just living in ignorance. So I completely agree with that. I would love to know that when you're on this.
Good. Yeah, no, I want to chime into what you're saying, and then you could ask or tell out what you're saying. But the reason why crime and stealing exists is because these people have been stripped from the basic necessities of life. And so when you strip humanity from basic necessities that make them live in peace, then you turn them into evil, in a sense, if they don't have the tools and the ability to step back into love and understand. So a lot of the things here within this realm are set up in a way, you could say, by certain things to strip people of their power. And by stripping this, also brings the suffering and pain of what people experience. Yeah. So when you also said that when people step back into consciousness and love and remembering, then all that stopped. Because when they step back into that, they were no longer stripped of their power, but they were given their power again, remembering who they are. And when you remember who you are, truly remember that, then you do not cause harm to another. You walk in this realm as a living man or woman with your soul fully embodied with integrity and love, and you do not do things to cause harm. People are causing harm because they're unaware of that which they're doing, because they're unaware of their true self. And this could be very easily fixed by showing the soul who they actually are. And as you just stated, with your consciousness stuff. So I just wanted to say that as well, added in there what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great insight, because it's essentially because of that veil of ignorance why we do the things we do that are negative or harmful. To be honest, Darius, when I was reading about you, I was I didn't really know much about what an out-of-body experience is. My brother has had a similar experience. My mom actually has had a out-of-body experience, and she came out a changed person, spiritually evolved, and she's the one who's kind of been guiding me through this as well. But I haven't really had this experience yet. I know of it, and I have kind of that knowledge, but I don't think I have that experience. I really want to know from you that, is it possible for someone like me who's really a seeker to be able to kind of get this experience at some point and have that experiential knowledge?
Okay. So do you really believe that you and it's more of a question to you, do you believe that you cannot access your divinity again, the truth? Do you believe that to be so for you?
I personally, I believe that I do have the power to access my divinity.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So anything that you see anybody else do through the entirety of this round, when it comes to things like this, or that people may try to label themselves as gifted or special, you hold the same capacity within you to do this. Now, the outer body, everybody has the same capacity to do this. So, and that's the reason why I asked you before, do you really believe that that you don't have the power in to access your divinity? You said, yes, you do. So, and that's to break down all perceived barriers and limitations that you may have, even unconsciously. Yeah. Because there's nothing that the out-of-body state, control out-of-body state, that you can do. Everybody can do this. That's the thing, and that's part of this whole waking people up to it. You don't necessarily need to even experience it to wake up to who you are, but there's a difference between me just stating these things to you, or whoever is listening, and then experiencing it for yourself firsthand. Because when you experience it for yourself, it is undeniable to you of who you are, and then you become a truly empowered being, truly fearless, which is an uncontrollable soul, just as you should be. There's nothing that you should do to diminish yourself of stating, can I do this? Because you absolutely can. And there's no reason for anybody to also diminish themselves by putting me in a place where they think that they can't do that which I'm doing, because that would be absurd. Yeah.
Bouncing off of that, because it's something I will definitely look up after, of course, our conversation, that are there specific, because I don't have knowledge about this, are there specific techniques or practices or methods that one can follow to be able to have an experience, to get closer to this truth of an out-of-body state?
Okay, yeah. So I'll just ask you this one question. Have you ever had sleep paralysis?
Sorry, could you just define what that is, just so I don't get mixed up?
Okay. So it's basically when you are sleeping and you wake up and you become paralyzed. Did you ever experience that in your life?
Yes, a few times at least, I remember.
Okay. That's a ticket. That's a process. Now, there's a process that you could do, and I will try to simplify this because this is stuff that, I've put into 3-4 hour long workshops and trying to teach people in detail of the context, clarity, things that when you exit to do, not to do, things to step beyond fear, etc. Yeah, dimensional spaces. But if you get yourself into the state of sleep paralysis, so you find yourself there naturally, understand this: your body is is shutting down to a degree in that state. Your brain wave is in a certain state they call REM sleep or something. Yeah. So when you are consciously there, if you do things properly, like remaining calm, relaxed, don't get into anxiety, fear, or panic, because it may feel like you're dying. That's what the process feels like. Yeah. And when you do it consciously, you will feel like you are dying, but you need to remain calm. And when you are calm in that state, your soul will start to leave your body. And it's not a hallucination. I've tried to disprove myself for years that this was a hallucination. And it wasn't until I started targeting things in real time, having people write things on whiteboard, and me coming on my body to see those things and call them and say, this is what it is. I've done it in group experiments as well, where people are targeting things that think that this isn't real. Well, when you start to exit the body, okay, all you do is remain calm the entire time. And it will feel like you are physically moving your physical body. And this is the biggest realizations of them all, of you remembering your divinity again, your soul, because your soul is physical. It's more real there than you experience here. Your home is more real. It's more in a place of fulfillment and joy than what you will ever experience here. Yeah. And so when you step out in that sleep paralysis, you start to step out, we remain calm. You will observe yourself, or you'll look wherever you are on the bed, and you'll see your physical body sleeping, shut down. And when the soul leaves of its own volition, of its own will, then the heart rate even dips down a little bit further. Okay. When you do it unconsciously, you're dreaming, etc., you're out, it's just all the same stuff happening. But when you do this consciously, your body will even dip down a little bit further. That's why I call it control near-death experience, or out-of-body state. Yeah. Just remain calm, create the distance from the body, and you yourself start commanding to access certain information that you desire to see. And if you understand that you are the ultimate authority, just like every other soul in all of creation, then you will realize that nothing could stop you from accessing that which you seek. Yeah. Just understand when you're in that state too, fear. Nothing could touch your soul unless you believe it to be so. So do not give your power away, or do not diminish yourself to a state where you think that you can be touched, because you cannot. Your soul is untouchable. And that is the most simplest way that I could, because I understand, like, people like yourself and other people really desire to do this. And if you just do that, like, you just follow that next time you find yourself in that space. Yeah. And there's nothing that could stop you from achieving this. Okay.
It's
okay.
very inspiring. And when you kind of go into that state, obviously we don't need to become anything, because our true nature is already who we are. But are we trying to access something specific here in that state? Like, what is the purpose of achieving when we go into that state? If you can clarify that.
Okay, so what is the purpose? So the purpose is to access information. So, for instance, all the questions that you're asking me, or throughout this entire interview, you're doing those because you want answers. And you could say you're getting the answers through what I'm sharing. Yeah. So all of those answers that you have, the purpose of that, so you could find those answers out for yourself. My whole purpose is to never make people dependent on me or something outside of themselves. It's to give them the tools to access that exactly what they're seeking. So imagine for a moment, you leave your body, everything that you ask me here right now, then you can access for yourself. And that's the purpose. You see? And you could see that. Yeah. Okay.
Darius, I want to know from you, what is your, I don't know if you want to answer this, but what is your take on this idea of a universal God or spirit or the Holy Spirit or, what people call them, or what was it before your experience? What is it after, or has it changed at all?
Okay, so I will just go directly to it, not before or after. I'll just go that what you just asked is already within you. It's within every single soul. And religion, certain information has been distorted to take you away from that understanding. But every single soul, you, me, and every soul here, it is God's within you. That thing that you're searching for outside is already within you. All of it's within you. And so, even when you seek for God as something outside of yourself, where are you putting yourself as a soul to be forever dependent on something outside of yourself? The Creator's essence is inside you. And it's love. It's already there. It's right. You are it's sitting here right now. And my only thing that I'm trying to do is get people to remember that. Yeah.
I love that you shared it from your perspective. For the last few years, I've been studying the specific branch of, it's called Vedanta, or Advaita Vedanta to be specific, that's found in a lot of ancient scriptures in India and Hinduism. And essentially the core teaching of it is that to realize your true nature, that you are not the mind, you're not your intellect or your gross body, you are that divinity or that true nature, and you are a God. And when you realize that I am already that which I am seeking, then that essentially relieves your suffering. That's in a nutshell the teaching of that. But I do want to ask you that a question that pops up in a lot of spiritual seekers is that, okay, then why is there a suffering? If I am divinity, does that suffering correlate with one's karma? Does it correlate with one's ignorance? What is your insight on that?
All suffering in hell exists. All suffering is experienced through a soul out of love. Even hell is out of love. A demon is out of love. So all suffering is the opposite of love, because there's no suffering in love. There's no pain in love. There's no fear in love. There's no regrets in love. But I'll tell you, all those things exist outside of love. There's fear outside of love. There's regret outside of love. There's pain outside of love. There's hell outside of love.
Do you have any kind of insight on when this ignorance of who we are truly begin? Is it something that cannot?
Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I just pinged back to what you were saying before. Okay. Indeed. About why is there suffering? I did answer those as well. But another thing that you could add too is the greatest and I'm going to be careful with this, but those that hear it and who I think will understand it. But the way to truly understand who we are, truly who we are, that which we are, that which we have always been, and to fully step into that would also be to experience that which it's like not to be that. Because then when you experience what it's not to be that, then you would say you would fully understand who you are. Or let's just say unconditional love. We all love. That's the essence of us. that you would say to fully understand it and truly be it, fully and completely in a state of mastery, you would say that that individual soul would have experienced the unlovable things, the truly birth and the full understanding of what it would be like or what it is like to be unconditional love. And I know that could go against a lot of different things, and I'm not promoting pain, suffering, or any of those things. But just understand this, that even in your pain and suffering, what are you seeking to get out of that? And when you step back into your divinity, you step back into, you could say, your soul again, and you become more greater than what you were before. You could say your soul is birthed into another form of heaven or another form of home. Because the home that you left, when you go through certain things, is you're not necessarily returning back, you're returning back to a new version of your home. But that could be, you could add that in there if you want, or you could delete that if you want, because sometimes that could, depending, and maybe you could just keep the first thing that I said. Yeah, but just because I'm very careful with that, because people may take that out of context. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you think, do you mean like that suffering or pain can be in a way a catalyst to one's
yes.
evolution to realize this truth?
Yes, it is. And I'm very careful in the way that I say it, because when you are in that state of suffering and pain, when is the best time to look at the stars? It's a question for you.
When it's dark, when it's night, obviously, when it's visible. Yeah.
Because it's easier to see the light. You could say the light is the truth. Let's just replace the light, the stars with the truth. So when a soul is so much disconnected from that, it's in a place of darkness, and it's trying to look for truth in the soil beneath their feet, not realizing that if they were to just look back up, they would see it very easily. And that's what people are searching for when they're in that state. But all they need to do is shift their lens, their perception, just a degree. And then you'll see that truth is what you're seeking outside of those things are right there. And now that one source of light is love.
If you could talk about what misunderstanding you feel the general population have about afterlife, because we are talking about death. What do you feel is the most misunderstood aspect of what the afterlife truly is?
That you are forced to come back here, that your soul could be entrapped and imprisoned. Those things. I don't really listen to a lot of things, to be honest with you. So I'm just going off basic things that have been asked to me in the past. So one of the most biggest misconceptions is that you can be trapped and imprisoned. When you get into that state of mind, you have already forgotten at the most basic level of who you are. Your soul can never be entrapped and imprisoned unless you believe it to be so. And I've stated this many times before, because the authority of your soul is dictating things around you, even on the other side. So that which you will, you could create. You create creations, you create your own heavens based off your soul's will. And the very belief that you could be entrapped, you manifest these things to be so. So that would be one. And because a lot of death has a lot of fear attached to it, you see. And there's a lot of fear in the death process, or NDEs, out-of-body experiences as well. The fear is there because people think that something could happen to them still, because they're still, even though they leave the body, still afraid of some form of death, or non-existence. And you always remain, you always live forever. You are an eternal being. This never goes away. And I would say that's the misconception, the big misconception there with that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's beautifully put. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I feel like that's what definitely people misunderstand. But at the same time, if you had to say like let's just go a little bit, like open up the conversation a little bit, because AI has become such a huge topic, but because of AI, I feel like the debate of consciousness in general, what consciousness truly is being talked about. So I would like to dive into that a little bit, but before we do that, just one word, you talked about manifestation, right? You said a big word. Can you just talk a little bit about that and the power of manifestation before we talk about consciousness and AI?
Okay, so your body, your soul, manifestation is just the creation based off the will of your soul, the spoken word. Physically, manifestation happens here when you imagine something first, and then you take the steps to create it here, and you're manifesting your will. So you could replace manifestation with will, yeah, the will of the soul. Physically, we do that here. When you're out of your body, you do that, but it's very quick, yeah. So manifestation is constantly, whatever you are constantly putting in the forefront of your consciousness will start to create your reality in a sense. And you could do this also physically too. There's people that do this physically. You could take, for instance, you know that what you feel, how you feel, what you speak influences the cells of your physical body. Yes? Okay. And I brought up in many discussions in the past, they've done this with water, that water could be programmed, and that your body is a form of water. So even your will here, physically, will start to change the way that the cells express themselves. And when you step into a place of love, your heart, truly love, then this is what is where the true power is, you see. And as soon as you are on the other side, what is heaven? What are the heavens of everybody? What is, or whatever you would like to call it, the paradise, the bliss, what is that? That's done from your soul's will, your soul's place of joy and fulfillment. So yeah. And
you just keep on bringing such strong words that I have to pick out, because I'm so happy you brought up love. I'm so happy you brought up love, because that's that's like a thing that we overtake, and it's become a word that's been used to the point where now it's like completely distorted, at this point, it's just like the word love has lost its meaning. So I'm so happy you brought that up, that true essence of love. And when I think about love personally, it's, for me, after my experience, I realized that we're all just universal consciousness. And if I'm talking to you right now, yes, I'm calling you Darius, of course, but at the same time, when I see you eye to eye right now, my feeling of love is that I see you in myself, and I see the divinity in you right now. And I think that's when you start feeling that towards everybody, and that hatred just slowly goes away. And I know the ego is hard, because I've struggled with that myself personally, but when you slowly let go of that ego.
Let me add this in,
please.
And this is no offense or anything at you, so please don't take it that way at all. But ego, you could say this is one of the spiritual warfares. I would say. When you died, how do I pronounce your name?
Arian.
Arian. Okay, Arian. When you died, were you not the same?
I was when I died at that moment, I was the same. Yes, I believe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Your personality, who you were, was the same. So let me ask you this. Why would you try to rid yourself of your ego when even when you leave here, you remain the same? Do you see?
Yeah. So you're saying ego is something that it's not that you have to remove the ego to become truly free. That's not what you have to do. Yeah.
Replace the word ego with soul experiences.
Okay.
Yeah. So your soul experiences, everything that you've experienced from the beginning of your first thought to where you are right now is everything of who you are right now is the perfected version of you here right now in forgetfulness of the rest of you in the experiences that you've had. And you would call this ego, you expressing yourself in a certain way. It's ego. And I know that this could be misinterpreted in many different ways, but you, when you died, you remained the same. Every person that leaves here remains the same. The only thing that gets added to you is memories of why you do things, who you are, why you express the way you express yourself. So if you were to get rid of ego with understanding that is your soul's experiences, you would in essence be wiping your memory and all your soul's experiences, putting yourself back to a blank slate. You could say, turning yourself into a baby soul and making you very easy to be controlled over another soul's will, not yours. Yeah. You do not, who you are does not change. And I say that with all respect towards you as well.
Do you feel like when we're like that innocence and purity that a baby has, because this is what we were talking with the other guests, do you feel that is the purity that you are looking for eventually when you become free? It's that original state of when you were that full innocent, when you did not care? Or could you elaborate on that?
Okay. So what is a baby? And I'm referring this back to you because you've had a near death. So what is a baby? A baby is someone that has just come from the other side, totally free and able to be who they are, express themselves with no judgment. Because you can't have unconditional love with a judgment. And so now they're fresh here and they're fully able to be themselves. Now every baby is different because the soul's signature is different, and they're fully able to just be themselves as a baby, as a child. As you get older, you're taught how to act, taught how to do things and suppress yourself. So then when you die, you say you return back to being a baby, which is then returning back to you being your original self. Not necessarily that you are a baby, but you are in the same energy signature of being yourself without judgment, free to be without any burden. You see? So that's where those tie in. One's fresh from the other side, one's leaving.
Yeah, no, that makes
all this.
Wow. No,
okay.
Where I love that you brought up that even by saying the word baby in that form, you're kind of restricting who we truly are. Like, you're kind of saying that it's not that, right? Is that what you're trying to say? That we're restricting by even talking about that baby form and that innocence, that purity, that we're beyond that because we've been before that? Like we
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So it's not even, so when children come in here, they're not children. Yeah. They're not babies in that aspect. They come in here just the same way that you've come in here. From the other side with experiences that you've had and full awareness and your ultimate authority on the other side to do as you will. And then come into here. So this place that we are gives you the illusion of birthing another soul, creating another soul, having that baby-ish sense. But it's not, there's still another soul. And the children aren't even yours. So even when you are a father or a mother, you view them as your children. They are not yours. And to view it as that is to have restrictions and control over another soul. And if you feel you could control another soul, then you can't have ultimate expression of freedom with a limitation. So therefore you are enslaving that soul. You see?
I would love for you to talk about how meditation helped you come to this point, you know?
Well, what is meditation? Meditation is basically a form and a tool to put your brainwave in a certain state to access information. Yeah. So I don't necessarily meditate consciously. You could say when I leave my body, that's a very deep meditation. But all through my life, all here right now, exactly what you see is exactly how I am. So when you could 24/7 be in the state of just peace, then you are in the ultimate form of meditation, because that's when things start to come into you. You start to feel things, intuitive downloads, insights. Yeah. So For someone that is so bombarded with life and so bombarded with the things that are going on in life in terms of fear, stress, it would be of your best interest to try to do some form of meditation, and not a meditation in a way where it is just, I'm going to just sit there and do nothing, but with intention. Have intention behind that, what you do. So, I mean, I don't have a lot of information to give you specifically on that, just because I'm always in that state anyways, and that's not coming from a place of just telling you this or telling you that. It's just, that state of being is just a natural state of being. Yeah.
I wanted to go talk about artificial intelligence a little bit.
Okay.
According to you, do you see technology, especially artificial intelligence, playing a role in facilitating or hindering spiritual experiences like OBEs?
So, all right. So there's a lot of technology that's hidden from people, and we are only getting the tip of certain technology now. Now, this technology, yes, when you become dependent on things outside of yourself, it will suppress your natural abilities. So, for instance, did you ever hear of Project Looking Glass before?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So, you could edit this out, or you could keep it in, depending if you feel like people that are listening to this. Yeah. So Project Looking Glass is you could say, a organization, affiliated with the government system, that created technology to look into future events. Okay. And they do this through, if you look it up online, you'll see some information, whistleblowers and things like that.
Okay.
And so AI is another form, not necessarily a future, but it's another form of technology that is used, and it's much more advanced than what we are being given now. And now I say these things for this reason. If a piece of technology could look into potential futures, but you could come out of your body and see potential futures as well, why would you make yourself dependent on a piece of technology when you are the ultimate form of technology? Yeah. Why would you make yourself dependent on AI trying to give you information when all of the information that you seek already resides within you of the truth of who we actually are? AI is tuning into information that we have created it to tune into in terms of the internet. But right now we have a field around us, an energetic field that's all around us here right now. And we can naturally tune into this. And when you become too dependent on things outside of yourself, you suppress your natural gifts and your abilities. So it would be in your best interest to constantly focus on yourself and your abilities, always. Yeah. You could say as well, too, and I'm going to use a different word here. Maybe some people will understand it. You could say the more that you become dependent on technology, it's because you have a weak spirit within you. Yeah. Which makes you dependent on these things.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with you on that. I also wanted to talk to you because, a lot of the viewers that will be watching this video, especially because the way we are talking kind of connects with that, is people that are on their journey, but they're still seeking purpose in life. And I mean, this happens. It happened personally with me, and I know a lot of people that are our subscribers that have gone through this, where they are either going through dispassion because of this realization, and maybe they're in some sort of depression state, or you can call it deep rest state, whatever you want, how you want to pronounce it. But what would you say to them in order for them to maybe I wouldn't say move on, because I feel like that is important, at least for me it was. Even that process is important, that dispassion process. But if you can shed a little bit of light on that regarding to what you think, that'd be great.
Okay. So, man, I feel this because I could feel the person. So, people that are lost people that are lost with information, they don't know what to do. I'm going to tell you this one thing here. Yeah. People may have a mission in life. They may want to do something. Well, if that's musician, acting, if that's spreading the message of the other side, many people may have many missions, things that they want to do. But where does this, in essence, what's the core of it? What's the core of what people are seeking? What someone really is seeking is true love again. And they try to find this within music, acting, expressing themselves to find love. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. Even when you are gone out of here and you are on the other side, why are you in a state of bliss? Because you are finally free in love. Yeah. And so every single mission, even if you do not see it, it comes down to love, the true meaning of it, the true expression of it. And so when you are in the state of depression and trying to find something, I would actually ask yourself, what is it? What is it that you would do right now? If you could tune back into, if you were not here, then you were on the other side, what would your soul be doing? And I know the limitations at play here, but what would your soul, follow the story through, what would your soul be doing? With no limitation or limitations on you. And when you could tune into that, then you start walking that path here to the best of your ability. Keep the focus in that joyful state of love. And things will start to move for you in that way. Yeah. And I know that this is hard for people to hear, or hard people to follow through, and sometimes to even believe in. Yeah. But understand that your heart, the true essence of love, holds the same force of creation itself. You could say it holds the same force in the energy of the sun. Yeah. And when you are truly in line with that, and not the distorted ways, or not the perverse ways of love, but the true meaning of it, the true energy state, the state of being of it, then your life will change. That's no different how stress changes your life. And to argue the fact that stepping into that place will not change your life is like arguing the fact that if you are stressed or in a state of depression has not already changed your life for depression and stress.
Darius, your journey, it has clearly brought you profound wisdom. I would love to know, what is the most important lesson or insight that you would like to share with our listeners right now who might be struggling with a physical illness, might be struggling with fear, or might be struggling with loss?
Okay. This is going to be different from the other things that I've said before in past ones. But understand that you return back home at some point. And I don't know the suffering or pain or the experiences that you're having, but understand that this is not your home. It's not your station. And you return back to that place at some point. And if you could tune into that and remember that, then you'll realize that a lot of things here will start to dissolve for you in the way of the things that you put a lot of weight on, the things that you put a lot of attention to that you think is important, will no longer become that much more important to you. Yeah. So just remember your place back home. And that is the greatest message that I could probably share, because once you realize your home and your station, then you start to slowly wake up to everything at that point.
I would love if you could describe that moment, when you first realized that you were having an NDE and what that experience was, like for you.
Yeah. So the moment that you leave your body, which every soul will eventually access this information. The moment you leave your body, you remember your true state, your home again. And so that's what that was like for me. It was remembrance of who I am, who we all are, and where we come from. And once that is fully remembered, only when that's fully remembered is when you could say your soul is fully present here, because then you see past all of the illusions, pretty much. So, I mean, in the shortest way possible to explain that, that's pretty much what took place there, you know. And even with yourself, with near-death experience, you know, you died. So what is it at that point that you see and you access? You remember your heaven, you remember your home, your divinity.
Yes.
And it's probably the reason why you were doing what you're doing now, you see, which then becomes a mission to wake people up to the other side, which is considered on the other side the great work. So, yeah, it's perfect.
No, the way you just put it, I couldn't have said it better myself. Because even when I share my experience, that's like what I always say, that the reason I am doing what I'm doing now is because of my NDE. And it's weird because it's in the beginning, I didn't even realize that that's why I was doing what I was doing, because it was such like a drastic kind of realization. It's not like it was like everything was smooth after that for me personally, and I think that's something everybody's gonna it's gonna be different for everybody. But what I still remember I was doing, because I'm an actor and musician, and I was working on a script. We're filming a tape with my friend, and you know, we were young, we don't really worry about our health. Suddenly I was reading my script and I was having trouble literally breathing and sucking up air in my body. I was like like wheezing, and then suddenly my lungs kind of just pressed in and I couldn't breathe. So my first instinct was, oh, this is BS. Let me just drink some water, you know, and I'll be fine. Still nothing. I got stressed out. I ran down the stairs. All I knew was I opened the front door to my house and just tried to get fresh air. But by that time, my friend was on a video call who was helping with the tape. And he was like filming another friend on video call, trying to show what was going on with me to see what we should do. I just said, call the ambulance. And right after that, I passed out. Now, you know, what happened when I passed out, yes, I was in pain in the beginning, and I went out of consciousness, and I did see the white light, and that was a experience that I can't even fully explain. But more than that experience of a lift off of the burden, it was like I actually felt like, I don't know why I felt a sense of ecstasy, but when I woke up in the hospital 15-20 minutes I guess later, I think that
because you were truly free, man. Yeah, go.
Yeah, exactly. I was truly free, and that realization made me realize, this is just a skin suit. This is not who I am. And especially as an actor, I did this film where I had to play like a cocaine kind of dealer, like a drug lord Al Pacino type of character, made my whole hair blonde. The director did everything. And I realized that during that 1 month, I completely changed as a person almost, because I was looking at myself from the outside. This was before my NDE. That because I was judging that I looked like this and my personality, that I made that conditioning in over a month. And naturally, I kind of changed. And it took time for me to get rid of that. But the experience kind of changed me. But I wanted to ask you, because we both had that out-of-body experience. Does everybody have the potential to have an out-of-body experience?
Everybody does, yeah. And I want to go back to what you said before, and I'll answer that as well. But you sense the freedom or burden lifted off you, because once you leave here and you have the out-of-body state, you experience true freedom again. Yeah, you experience the ultimate expression of freedom with no limitation. That's what happens, and you also experience that there's no judgment towards you. You could just fully be yourself. And there's no greater freedom than that. Because right now people live in this place, this realm, where they feel they need to be something other than their true self. And this creates enslavement to you, the individual, your soul, and your self-expression. You see? So the moment you leave, you realize you are not beholden to anybody besides yourself. And at that point, you are free to do as you wish, as every soul is. And every soul can do this. That's the thing. So some people have a near-death experience and they need the near-death experience to remind them who they are here, to set them on a path of doing this mission of that which you have changed your life to do. You see, same with me. Because what you realize once you leave and you access that place, there is only one truth. And that one truth is your home. And it becomes the greatest mission to wake people up back to their home. Because it's only then when you're there, you will experience the true divinity of freedom and love again, of that which everybody seeks. Everybody. And everybody can have a controlled out-of-body state, because you're shutting down the body to a state and then you leave. It's no different from near death. And to not feel that, or to then put yourself in a place where you don't feel this is true or can be done for you, it's because you yet do not understand the true potential that lies within you. Because we all have it. There's nothing that has happened to you, nothing that has happened to me, that no one else, or it's limited to one person or individual. Everybody's going to experience this one way or the other. It's just very unfortunate when you wait to awaken yourself to this truth just on the end of your experience here. Because when you wait to that point before you question things like this, then the regrettable is the unforgettable, and you will never see. And it's important, because even yourself with your near-death experience, did you change your thought process, who you were, who you actually are? Your soul essence of who you are didn't change at all. You remained the same. You were the same person, but you were free. You see? All of the walls that kept you in a certain place just instantly gone.
Yeah.
And so you were the same person there. Yeah.
I'm so happy you brought that up, because whenever I bring this topic on different podcasts, we always talk about this and that aspect of that you already have that divinity within yourself, but that experience allowed you to become free. I think that's something that when the audience takes away from that, that's a really important aspect of it. So I'm really happy you brought that up. I wanted to talk to you just because, like, even in my other podcasts that we do, this gets brought up in the comments, and I think it's important that it's clarified. So for all the people out there, and I'm talking about scientists, doctors, that say that this out-of-body experience that you are experiencing is an hallucination, what would you say to them?
Okay. Scientists, doctors, these people automatically believe that there's an end to you. And when they believe that there's an end to you, they believe that the universe dictates consciousness. So when you try to give information from a person that has not seen the truth for themselves, this is a dead-end road. It's like trying to show somebody, how do you tell a blind person what the color blue looks like? Seriously, and really think about that. I know I say that before, but how do you tell a blind person what the color blue looks like?
I guess you can't really fully explain it through words. Yeah.
Scientists and doctors are trying to figure out the nature of reality, the nature of who they are through the body, through the limitations of this earthly realm. They are trying to figure out the spark, the beginning. They'll never find it here. You'll never find the beginning of you here, because it does not reside here. It resides on the other side. And so the only way to really find that truth is to see it for yourself. And you will find yourself, if you do not do that, countless hours wasting your time searching for truth that doesn't exist here, in the numbers, in the constructs of man-made belief systems. Numbers are man-made based off the man's belief system. They're all constructs. So for those that call it a hallucination, I ask you this one question: how come all of the people that have done this say the same thing? How come all of the people that have near-death experiences like yourself realize this truth? How is that so? Because you're returning back to your original state. You see, people, scientists, doctors, people that are educated need to understand that this is not the end. There is no end to you. Yeah. Doesn't exist.
Definitely. Yeah.
You live on forever, and there is an other side, and you will only find the answers, the true answers there. You could find them here through questioning. You could find the answers here through questioning. Where did I come from before I was born? Who am I really? And you because the answers are all within each individual soul, and you could spark that again. But when you try to understand us through the physiology of the physical body, then the physical body can be measured. You can measure everything within the physical body, but the soul can never be measured because you never will touch it. You see? So that's what I would say about that for them.
Also, and because we are talking about all these aspects that people are actually, there's lots of controversies regarding. I wanted to talk to you about experiencing the out-of-body state through drugs, right? Through external substances. The whole aspect of whether that's DMT, psilocybin. What is your view on that? Do you think it is possible to have the same exact experience through a self-induced kind of substance, or do you think it's like a calling for people that when that happens naturally, nothing can replace that?
No. So you never want to take anything when you do this. Yeah. So when you take external sources or external things, you shut down the natural ability that you have. It becomes dormant. So when you take something and you are trying to access information, it's no different from being drunk behind a wheel. Yeah. So physically, you could drive your car and you could see the road. You could drive your car drunk or on drugs. You'll still see the road, but it'll be distorted. So when you're taking something consciously, it distorts your vision of that which you see as well. When you do it with 100% control, 100% willingness in consciousness, what you see is no longer distortions. You see, it's only when you're taking things that compounds physically here of seeing things distorted in a distorted way. So I don't condone, or nor do I tell anybody to do this with any type of drugs, because nothing that I've experienced has been done in that way. And none of the people that have followed the principles and things that I teach have done that. I'm very against that because it shuts down your natural abilities. And that's as simple as that.
I'm very happy you clarified that in such a concise way, because you see all these podcasters talking about DMT and their own experiences. I don't want to take names or anything, but I feel like that kind of glorifies it. And because they have that status, and you have to be very careful when you talk about what experiences you've done and the results from it, because if you're not an expert in the field, if you don't know what you've actually experienced like you have, and you're talking about an experience with drugs and other people are watching it, it really could tread them in the wrong direction. So thank you for explaining that. So everybody watching clearly that are talking in the comment section about getting out-of-body experiences through drugs or external substances, just like Darius said, it's not what it's supposed to be. And like that beautiful metaphor that he used about that if you're going to take an external substance, you're not going to be in your complete senses. You're not going to be seeing it clearly, right? That's how you were explaining it, or?
Yeah, no. You are not. You're going to see a distorted view of things.
Distorted.
Yeah. Well, when you are trying to do something consciously, understand right now, you could tune into more information consciously without taking anything, and you will call this intuitive downloads. Now, you see, when you take something consciously, with the ability that you have within you, it will distort your view. You will see distortions. Yeah. So I wouldn't. Don't take anything when doing this. These things in the long term will suppress your natural abilities, and you become dependent. What is also the number one way the second way to control the soul? Fear and dependency of things outside of yourself. You hold all the information and the ability within you if you just remember that.
And when you start doing things outside of yourself to try to get information or try to achieve something, you will forever be dependent on that thing. And does that not make you a slave to that thing?
Oh man, you have said it. Dependency, and it makes you a slave. Oh my God, exactly. It's not even just with drugs, it's what's happening in the rest of the world, whether that's the media we're listening to, the news, all these things, social media. And this is going to be this exact conversation needs to be a segment on its own, that aspect of becoming dependent, because that's what you don't realize. No matter what, even if you somehow feel some sort of sense of out of body, it's a temporary experience. You're going to become dependent on it. You have to understand that, so I'm so happy you brought that up. Just moving on from that, you talked about your NDE experience, how you had a sense of euphoria. Could you elaborate a little bit on that experience, that environment?
Yeah, well, I did break it down a little bit in the beginning, but like I said, the euphoria and bliss that I felt, this was going back at 16, but I don't necessarily feel that much anymore when I do it, because it's just a natural thing that I do. It's just a state of being. So the same person that I'm here right now speaking to you is the same way that I would speak to you on the other side. Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily change, but in the beginning, when I 16, that experience was the first time that I felt that bliss, and the bliss came from me realizing my true home again. That freedom that we all have, the freedom that I was not beholden to anybody or anything besides that which I desire to do. And that was like, you're talking about. It was a feeling that kept on expanding, and it never stopped, because I released myself from all fear, from all prisons. Yeah, and there's nothing that could compare to that feeling. But yeah, the first time.
We were talking about death before. I want to just dive into that a little bit, and I'm going to ask there's two definitely big questions that I'm going to bring up. I'll start with one that I always bring up when I'm talking about this, because it's it's because of social media, it's everywhere. Cryogenics, the whole aspect, because we are talking about death and how the body might die, but that's not who we are, so we live forever. But at the same time, the social media videos of actual labs, all these things where people are freezing themselves, they're saying that, if we have a disease thousands of years in the future, if we defrost ourselves and we can cure ourselves there. I would love for you to clarify, in different perspectives. One, if it even is possible and somehow you could freeze the body. Let's say, we could put ourselves in a tank and we could technically preserve the outer layer, the skin, and you defrost 1,000 years later. Personally, do you believe the person who wakes up, we would even be in there, the soul? If you can talk about,
Okay, so you're talking about freezing of the body to maintain its essence? Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I got you. So can that be done? Yes, it's already being done, and that's the thing. That's you could say that cloning is already being done too. They could clone a dog. Google search it. They've cloned animals before. Yeah. So if you go on Google, go ahead.
I didn't know
Google. That. Yeah. So if you type in cloning of a dog, you'll see it. Yeah. Do you see it?
There are actual companies that do this? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dog clone creates a general again using your skin sample. Oh, I didn't know this. Wow. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they've that's already out there, like publicly, that cloning of an animal, or what was it? You'll find it, I believe. I'm not going to give you 100% accuracy of information here, but I think it was some woman that did it to her dog or something, paid for it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and some of the things that I've seen as well, and inside the past as well, you look at the pyramids too. Yeah, they already had this technology, and they still use it to a degree now. Now, would your consciousness still be in that body? No, I wouldn't say so, because you're still leaving. Yeah. So if the body's shut down and you shut down the body, stop the heart, you stop the electromagnetic field of the physical body, and then you leave it. Yeah. But returning back to that, you would be, in theory, yeah, you would be able to return back to that state if you chose to. But I don't think a lot of people would. Even you go into, you would know this because you're located in India, are you?
We have a studio in India right now. I'm in New Jersey. That's our second studio. But yeah, we have. My family is from India. I'm Indian. Yeah.
Okay. So even in your culture, and even in Buddhist temples and stuff, you look into history, they were able to put their body into stasis naturally. Yeah. And some of those bodies, you could say, still have the flesh and youthfulness there, but they haven't returned back to it because they're gone. You see? So to answer that, anyways, yeah.
When we have an outer body experience, and you're basically in a realm that's not Earth, right? So are there different layers of these dimensions or realms? And do they differ? And is there any way to recognize exactly which dimension you're in if there are multiple?
So within here, within this physical known construct that we're in, and for scientific terms is this known universe. So right now they're trying to measure, what's outside of this universe. So outside of this, this whole universe is one construct. On the other side, it's one creation. And within here, I have identified through my experiences a total of 12 different creations here, 12 different dimensions, what people would say, or 12 different realms or heavens. So all different wording for the exact same thing. And so I've seen this, and I'm like, okay, so all of these different layers of creation within this known universe are all separated by slightly different frequency bands. And this is why, to give you an example, we go back into, you have it all through history, from the texts to Egypt, to even in India, where they even show the different layers of creation itself too. And being shown this, and then seeing that this was already there as well, I'm like, oh wow, like this is, I'm seeing the whole layers of this whole thing. But even in the past, there has been certain beings and entities from these higher planes of existence coming down into the physical, you could say, with their full divinity of light. And you'll see this all throughout the history, how some beings have come down and they're more luminous, they hold more light, they seem more godlike. Not that they're better than us, they are just within a different frequency band that is not of the physical flesh, this carbon meat suit that we have, but it was more in those, let's just say, higher planes of reality. There is less distortions within the vehicle that they use, because they're able to maintain more of the, you could say, the light within them, and that light within them actually decodes all of their cells within their physical body to be more in essence what the soul is in the physical body. So that's what I've mapped out. I've mapped out a total of 12 different creations within here. And when you step out of this known construct, this universe, then there is a infinite amount of different creations, different universes, all outside of here, and they're all manifested from us, the soul. Us are the infinite, individual, infinite soul sources deciding, I want to put my will in my spoken word. I want to experience this, and because you've said it, because of who you are, then it manifests to be so. For you to walk into the great infinite beyond and experience whatever it is that you desire and want, whatever it is. And this is the greatest freedom too. You don't have to believe me, and people don't have to believe me, and that's fine. But I promise you guys, once you die and you leave this place, you're not only going to see, okay, yeah, we live within a certain creation, but you're going to see, when you even step out of this very thing, the creation itself, and you go back to the source in the beginning of all things, you will see that there are infinite amount of different creations, all within the infinite beyond. And it never stops, because we, the soul, we never stop. The moment you find the end to the imagination, your imagination, then you found the end to creation itself. And there's no end to your imagination. There's no end to it. So we are able to experience, manifest, do whatever it is that we desire on the other side, and make our own universes to experience what it is that we want to do and love in our will. Yeah. This one, what I have seen, what I've directly experienced, is that this one is the only one of its kind where we get the separation as we do. So we get the separation, the illusion that we are separated from the source of all things itself, and therefore this is where you get the fear, loss, and suffering all attached to those things. Because the source of you is love, and it is just being all the time. And in that state of love, the pure authenticity of love, there is no fear, there is no loss, there is no regret, there is none of those things. But the moment you step through that illusion of separation from the source, then fear manifests within yourself. And the root of fear is loss. So you fear of losing something, like there's a loss of something. There's a loss in my body. I'm losing. There has to be a loss to something, but you never lose anything. Regret is, all there, all through this experience here. But once you're there, none of that exists. It's in a constant state of just being. It's one of my, I'm not going to call him students. He's just one of my individuals that have shared a testimony. His name's Stefano. And, he said something that actually puts it into words that I think is just amazing, because he's seen it through this out of body state. And he said, there's meaningful good in all things, because it's the source. It's the source of all things, the infinite of all things, just trying to know itself in all of its beauty and all of its creations. And that's what we are. We are the source, the void, just trying to know itself through creating. I realize too that time itself gives, you see, because on the other side we don't experience time in the way that we experience time here. It's more of past, present, and future. It's like all of it's open to you, all happening all at once, and you can tap in and do whatever it is that you want. But I've identified that the illusion of time, that what we experience here is actually the contrast. Time itself manifests contrast from light to dark.
Right.
Yep.
There's a few things that you just said that I caught on to that I think are really important. So yeah, when you were describing how you have mapped out these, I think you said 12 realms, I believe. So in India, actually, there's a temple that's being made right now. It's one of the biggest temples, and they're actually trying to show all these different realms. And based on what people have seen, they're actually trying to build this temple that kind of shows what these realms looks like. So it's exactly what you're talking about. And also one other thing you mentioned was about how sometimes we see people on Earth who just feel like they're more godlike, and it's not really because they're special or they're different. It's just the fact that I like how Buddha said it, that when someone asked him, "Who are you?" and he just said, "I'm awake and you're sleeping." So it's just the fact that they have come to know what their true nature is. and they're awakened to that reality, and whereas we're in that illusion and we're sleeping and we don't know what our reality is. So that's really important. Yeah, thank you for describing that whole concept. That's our viewers actually dropped in a few questions, and this was one of them, to get more details about this. Do you think it's possible, Darius, to access information when you're out of your body and then somehow utilize that when you come back onto Earth in your physical body? Or, for example, is it possible to access any information and then that comes true when you come back in your physical body on Earth? Have you ever heard of something like that?
Yes. Yes, I have. So and I've done it myself. So there's been, first I'll go into what you said before, the accessing information, yes? So I've accessed information, for instance, like time. And I've seen, like I said, time is not a linear thing. There's potentialities of time that you can access. And I've seen those things. And it's very bizarre when you see it because you end up seeing possibilities. And I've seen this personally for myself. And I basically would see an event taking place. I would confirm that event, say something. Sometimes I've even written a public post about certain things too that have happened as well. So you could leave your body, access time itself, see certain things or foresight, visions, prophetic visions, etc. And they, most of the time they are fulfilled too, based off the potential and how strong that time event is. I have personally targeted certain individuals that I work with, and they've confirmed this, and they've done it for themselves as well, where I would leave my body and actually go to them and see what they're doing in real time. I would literally see what they're doing in real time, and I'll call them up, is this what you're doing? And they would say, yeah. So you could get information from the time itself. You could get information from real-time events physically happening here. But not only that, to give you another example, the halls of Amenti. So the halls of Amenti, the pyramids, the tunnel systems that go deep down beneath the pyramids. You would have known years ago. I spoke about that publicly, and I've written posts about the tunnel systems underneath the pyramids themselves and how it leads to the halls of Amenti. And now when you look up what they do, or what they've done, is they use certain technology, the same technology that they use to map out the oceans, to basically see what's beneath the pyramids, and they basically showed tunnel systems. Exactly that which I was stating before. So that's also proof as well for some people of what you could see, and is it validated to you in this physical reality? And the answer is yes. Because underneath those pyramids are literally what I've described, which is the halls of Amenti itself, which contains a lot of the original information, even some of the giant trees that were written about in the past that have been chopped down. Some of the seeds are still beneath those pyramids, So in bringing information from the other side, so outside of this physical reality, but from home itself, bringing information from there into the physical body, can you do that? Yes, you can absolutely do that. The moment you realize that your mere belief in something gives it power, the moment you really realize that your belief, your soul, your will is literally the authority, then you could even start to program your body, the cells within your physical body. You could start to do this. You think about it this way. Stress, anxiety, fear is literally the opposite of love itself. It's the opposite of the source of who you actually are. And because when you experience these things, stress in and of itself will literally kill and destroy the physical body that you use. When you turn back or tune back into love itself, who you are, it does the opposite to the physical body. Scientifically, we have what is called immortal genes within this physical body. But yet, how do you turn these on? How do you start to program these things, or even activate the dormant cells within your physical body that they call junk DNA? And the only way to do it is return back to the source and the home of all things, and realize that and bring that through to this physical body. You know, majority of the time I don't eat. I just came off a 3-day fast, and I do that regularly. But yet, with the amount of food that I eat, which is very, very little, very, very, very little, once a day, and sometimes I'll fast 4 or 5 times in a day or whatever, I should be extremely ill. And this isn't medical advice, but I should be extremely ill. I should be sick. I should be withering away. But yet here I am. So when you believe something, it dictates the very cells in the physical body that you inhabit right now. A great person that shared a testimony, witness account here, is even, his name is David Ebel. He had a heart issue. He basically had surgery on his heart. He realized who he was with the soul, and the heart started to heal itself. And I've documented this. I've shared it as a testimony, witness account, so people could see that the will of your soul could even influence the very body. If you believe it enough, it can be done. And you know, I say this and I say these things, but then people may go into a state, well, yeah, I believe what you're saying is true, but it goes further than just belief. You know, I'm using the word belief because it's a word that people will understand what I'm saying, but it goes further past belief, because belief in and of itself is a place of not knowing something. And you have to step into a place of absolute knowing with 100% certainty for it to be done, and therefore it will be done. You know, this is why the placebo effect was studied and confirmed, that when somebody truly believes in something within themselves, or if they're sick or what have you, and they believe that they've been given the magic pill, even though it's a fake pill, their belief is so strong, and the knowing and the trust in something external from themselves is so strong that it actually heals them. Not realizing that it wasn't the external belief in something, but it was actually, the external belief in that very thing was so strong, but it was actually them that healed themselves. And if we could revert that inward by understanding who we are at the soul sense, and realizing that we are the infinite, and everything bows to the infinite and love itself. The infinite, the being of all that is, even the I am bows to it. And if we could step into that in our life, then I believe making a public statement here would also know what I'm saying in the disclaimer or what have you. But the limitations placed on us, I believe, are only the limitations really that we allow ourselves to believe that exist. And I believe that if an individual could step out of all of the programs that we have been taught, that you cannot do this or not do that if we could step out of those things, that possibly, and I'm just putting the concept into people's minds, that possibly that we could literally be heaven's reflection here walking in the physical body.
That is very true. And I had personally studied, being a science student, the placebo effect to a great extent. And like you said, in the placebo effect, that's an example of something that obviously the pill actually doesn't work, but it's your belief that's cured yourself. But in this case, your true nature is actually the truth. It is eternal truth. It's a reality. So imagine that having faith in that, which is in fact the truth, can obviously cure your mind, your body, and everything that you feel is currently suffering.
I'm sorry, but I just want to say this as it's fresh in my mind. This is why they've put such a... All right, let's step into a little bit of religious wordings real quick, because I have no other way to articulate this besides using those wordings. So step out of any religious or whatever thing that you believe in for a moment, and just listen to what I'm saying and put it in context of whatever wordings fit best for you. This is why we have this soul, body, spirit. Like I said, when I said this before, but when you understand the soul, who we are, then that's the truth of all things. Love is truth, and truth is love, and there's no way around that. Once you understand love, you understand all truth of all things. Yeah, and that's your soul. Now, they have basically through just our beliefs, which is making us believe in putting our beliefs in thought forms. Now, we have the physical body, and the spirit is within the physical body. Same with the soul. But they have manifested, you could say, negative spirits within the physical body, or what they call demon spirits within the physical body. And those demonish spirits are, you could say, our belief in fear itself, which really thought forms. When you leave your body, you will see that your thought forms are not actually, or your thought forms are physical manifestations. So they're not just, they don't just wither away. That your thought forms are actually real physical manifestations that you cannot perceive within the physical body, but once you leave the physical body, you will see the very thought form of that which you've been thinking. And so when you have negative beliefs in yourself, negative self-sabotaging beliefs in yourself, you are self-manifesting a thought form, a negative spirit within you that basically, you could say, takes hold of your physical experience, because you give it so much energy. But the very thought form, the very spirit of that negative thing that you've been thinking has no power over the soul itself. It's like money. It's like currency, the artificial mean of currency. They use currency to try to make a artificial means of the 0 point, which is your soul, which is not true. But we have belief in money itself, currency, and so this is why it has so much power and influence over everybody's life. But the moment you then realize, wait a second, the money doesn't hold any value, or if you change that perception to, like, let's just say, cryptocurrency or gold and silver or what have you, then automatically the belief in the piece of paper holds no power over you at all. And the same thing is with these thought forms. Negative spirits, which are thought forms, they only hold power and influence over us because we give it our belief to be so. And if we could just disconnect from all that, you'll see that you return to everything that is all things good, pretty much. All things good.
Thank you for that explanation. That was really important, and for continuing that conversation from the last question. As we near the end of this episode, I know we've talked a lot about OBEs, but I want to know that when the physical death of this body happens, what exactly happens during the first, let's say, 10 or 20 seconds? Is it the same process as an OBE, or is there something else to it?
It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. I've had individuals that have had a near-death experience that have actually were proven to be, or they're clinically dead, and they separated out of their body. They saw their physical body, and they had a controlled state, an out-of-body state. And it's the same thing. This has been confirmed. So there's no different from the death process to the out-of-body. The thing is, once the soul leaves, the soul leaves. Whether that's through death or the controlled state, the soul is still leaving. You are accessing the same things, and you could see the same things. You do not need to die to access the truth of yourself, or access the other side. And when you return to the other side, you'll see everything that you're actually looking for is in a home is love. But there's no difference at all. There's no difference. You could, with a disclaimer, I'm not promoting any form of suicide within people, but if you choose to leave in the out-of-body state, then you leave. You have the same capacity as that which when you die. When the soul is leaving the body, it's leaving the body. In what you choose to access, what you choose to bring into this physical body, is the same as it's the same thing, without repeating it too much. But it is the same thing.
Yeah, and I was about to close, but something just came up. So when we have an outer body experience, we come back, obviously, but does that individual have an option to not come back and stay where they are, or is that not possible at all?
Yes, you do. Everybody has the choice to stay here or leave, even out of body near death as well. Everybody has that choice, and for me to say that you do not have that choice, or for anybody to say otherwise would basically you would be saying to yourself, you're not the infinite, and you don't have power. Yeah, you have the choice to do whatever it is. But I will say this, the regrettable is the unforgettable. That's not necessarily judgment, but the regrettable is the unforgettable. So yeah.
So do you think the reason we come back from that state is because, like you mentioned a little bit earlier, that the infinite wants to experience whatever it's experiencing in this physical realm through their body-mind complex in order to know itself, and then so we come back here for those experiences in a way?
Well, I could tell you based off the things that I've seen, and what I'm about to say may come across as, well, how do you know this? You think you know it all, but give me a second to articulate it and go in this full direction, so it gives you the greater picture. The people desire to come back here because, in essence, this place is coming to its completion. Now, this isn't fear. I'm not trying to hope harvest anything or anything like that. But when you go back into history, you'll see that we have come to certain points within history where things have reached a completion. And this is where you get the lost civilization of Atlantis, or let's just say the lost civilization of the Egyptians and the pyramids, etc. Where did they all go? So what I'm saying isn't just like a mystical thing of yes, it's going to, but this has happened in the past. You see, we are in a state what people call ascension. Yeah, where more people are waking up to their divinity of who they are. And even the other side has said enough of this. And how do I know that? How do I know that even the other side itself has said enough and that this comes to a completion? Because everybody here is saying enough. And because everybody here is saying enough, they are the source of all things. They are the infinite. They are the very ones that give light and life to everything. When they say enough, they are the very other side saying enough. And so therefore it has no choice to be enough and done. So people come back to show love from the other side and to help other people. That's it. Because what we're returning back to, and what this place, this very creation that we're in, the foundation of things, will turn into heaven's reflection. It quite literally will. And I don't have any way to articulate this any better, but once we realize who we are, all of us realize who we are, and we become the very that reflected here, then all of everything within this place, all of the cells, the electromagnetic field of this entire environment changes. And it changes because we influence electromagnetic fields all the time. But the more we bring in from home into this body, we literally, it's a great revealing of that which has always been present in here, but seen and visible to everybody. More of that light spectrum opens up to everybody.
What I want to do is really walk through the mechanics of how consciousness actually steps out of the body. And I know last time in our episode, we covered a lot of the foundation of what you're teaching and what outer body experience actually means, but I want to go into some more details in this conversation. So my first question, Darius, is that when an individual has an outer body experience and they leave their body, can you go through the exact step-by-step sequence of what exactly happened? So when does that internal shift happen, or are there sensations that guide that? And then is there a separation that happens between the physical body and the soul or consciousness? Can you guide us on that sequence?
Yeah, so the moment of separation from the physical body, it's one thing that you realize first and foremost is that you exist beyond the body. And so we have a strong perception and belief in this thing, this physical body, that it's a fear narrative of ever losing it, because the fear of loss of this physical body is somehow programmed into us, that it's fear of loss of ourself, our individuality, who we are. So we're afraid if the body dies and we lose our personality, we lose ourself, we lose everything about who makes us who we are, and that is where the fear stems from, related to this. But the moment you make the separation from the body, you instantly realize that your personality, everything that is you, is actually not the body itself. It's not even the brain. It has nothing to do with that, but it's actually the soul that is within the physical body. And when you step out of the body, you recognize that instantly. And when you see your physical body on the bed, you look out the body as an object, as an it, or that's my vehicle, but not you itself. And that realization is the greatest realization that anybody could have here, because the moment that you realize that, then it gets rid of all fear-based things of death of this physical body. You begin to realize, when you separate there as well, you will begin to see not only the physical reality that we live in right now. So you would be able to, you're going to be able to see everything from your bed, your house, and everything's going to be the same. You'll be able to see people walking around in real life that are walking around and perceive them and see them and know exactly what they're doing in real time. But yet they won't be able to see you, just because their physical body, their brain, is only decoding a certain percent of the light spectrum, let's say 1% of it. And the soul accesses 100% of that known frequency band and light spectrum. So you're not only seeing the physical reality, but you're also seeing everything that has ever existed. Everything that is. You're talking about thoughts, potentiality at times, beings that we can't even see right now that have always been here. So you could say, when people even talk about New Earth, it's actually the great revealing of that which was always present in there. And you're seeing those things, you're accessing those things. You're able to step beyond all limitations of the physical body. You're able to step beyond all perceived limitations that we believe that we have. Because the soul itself is the infinite, and the infinite cannot be defined, measured. And once you realize that the soul is the infinite, then you have access to access all information of the other side, where you come from, your origin, and seeing even passed away relative loved ones and people on the other side that you may not even remember now, but you have always known them, So the process is essentially, you're going to be seeing those things, and it's very startling at first when you see these things, because it's funny, because once you come out, it's startling because you think, oh my God, I'm dead. Like that's the thought that runs through your head, because your personality doesn't change, and you're like, oh my God, I'm dead. I just died. But you're thinking that way because the personality doesn't change, and you realize, wait a second, if I'm not dead because I'm thinking the same way, wow, I exist beyond. I am the infinite. I am what they say God, and we are all God, walking here in the physical body underneath the illusion that we're not that. Does that answer your question?
It definitely answers it, and thank you so much for sharing that. Just because it brings me back to, I remember in our last conversation last year, you had mentioned that you actually don't read, or you can't read properly the way that we all can, and the fact is that everything that you're actually mentioning right now, from an experiential level, which you've experienced and you're making other people experience as a fact, that we are divine, our true nature is that of divinity, of God, but we are in the illusion that we are these limited body minds, is actually written in a lot of these ancient scriptures that I've been studying for the past 1 year, and everything matches with whatever you just said and whatever the experiential truth is. So that connection right there makes me believe even more that, of course, it is a truth both experientially and in the aspect of knowledge.
I think that's important for people to realize, is no, I can't necessarily read. A lot of the things that people read when I write certain things, or if I write posts, sometimes I like to write pages of information. That's actually me speaking through the computer to have it translate into text for me. And then I have to have things read back to me. And, it's experiential knowledge is I think, well, it's not I don't think, I know when people listen to what I'm saying, there's a difference, because it's not coming from the things that I've read or what people may think that me reading something, but it's coming from the experiential knowledge, and that experiential knowledge is just me sharing it as is. I have nothing to hide related to that. It's just me. This is what I've seen. This is what it is. And it's actually been a great thing to watch. It's been a great thing to watch that people that follow certain principles of that which I'm talking about, and they do it and they see the same thing. Testimonies, I'm up to 86 now, and they continue to come through. And that's not in a way of bloating myself or any of that, but it's a way to show people that this is not limited to just to me, or because I'm special or anything, but every single person has this ability to see these things. We are all from the all of everything. We all inherently know this. We know that we are from the all and the source of all things. So if that is a knowing within you, then that automatically states to you and should be reflected to you, well, if you are the all-knowing of everything, that means that you already know everything. And so individuals that will say to you, you cannot possibly know everything, well, I say to them, are you not the all and connected to the all of everything? The all of everything and the all knowledge of everything lives within you. And it just so happens, once you focus on yourself and go within to your soul, who you are, understanding the beginning of you, then you leave your body and you access all this information. And even if you don't leave the body, all the information is still there within you. The only thing that blocks it is when we start doing too much of the mental gymnastics and using too much of the mind and logic of trying to understand things. Because the source of you is not trying anything. The source of your soul does not try, because the moment you try is the moment you become not it. So the I am, the moment the I am says I am this and I am that, it is I am not. Because the I am, which is you, the soul, is always in a state of just being. And being doesn't try, it just is, yet it's affected by none of it, and yet controls all of it. It's not bound by anything. The greatest example I could give you too is like love. Love. When you say to someone, I'm trying to love you, that's what love is not. Love does not try to love. Love just loves. And the very pursuit of trying or following a path of love is actually you walking further away from it. Because love in and of itself, the other side of all source of the beginning of all things, when you return to that and you see that on the other side, is not going to say, I tried to love you. It is just going to love you because it never stopped loving you or everything. Love is just in a state of constant being. And because it's being, and it just is, without trying or trying to figure it out, it is all things, love all things, but it's bound to none of those things because it is the infinite.
So what I want to know is that when the physical body separates and during that outer body experience, and then you're able to see your body as an object from the point of view of the soul or consciousness. Does that happen right away? Is it like an immediate snap that happens, or is that transition gradual?
Okay. The moment that you leave, the first separation, it's instant. There's it's just an instant knowing. I have no other way to really try to articulate it other than it's just, without a shadow of a doubt that the body is not you, and that the true you was what was this source of all things, the soul, the whole time, and that nothing is ever lost ever. Sometimes you just have to experience it, because I could use all these words, I could explain it in the most detail, but it's the moment you leave, the moment you see, you remember you again, and you see the physical body, it is just instant. It's instant. It changes everything within you. I mean, think about it. The reason why I'm doing this the way that I'm doing it is because of these experiences. It's because of this, it's changed everything into that direction to get people on the pursuit to realize truth and love, pretty much. I hope that answers it. If it doesn't, let me know.
Yeah, it does. You clarified that first instant when the separation happens, that is a snap, and then you just know it. And yeah, because actually about a couple months ago, my mom, she practices a lot of meditation for many years, and she actually did have this experience of an OBE. And I remember when she had it, when I was witnessing it, I mean, she was just, for hours, she was just sitting there in meditation, and she had lost track of space and time. And when she came out from that experience, she just couldn't believe it, and she didn't want to come out from there because it was such a beautiful experience that she basically didn't feel that she was this body-mind complex. She knew that she was consciousness, and she was able to get in touch with her true nature as the divine. And she still talks about it to this date. And like you mentioned, it's really hard to explain in words, but only when you experience it can you actually know that it is the truth, and there's no doubting it afterwards. I want to ask you, Darius, that so we have this outer body experience, but during that time, so when you're not in the physical body, what does that consciousness look like or feel like? So I understand that we probably feel very light because you're not in that physical body. So is it formless, or are you unable to see that, essentially?
Yeah. All right. This goes against everything that people think about this. Yeah. They or believe they feel somehow that once they leave and they access their home, yeah, because you were, before you came here, you were there, and so when we're here, we think that this is very physical, this body's very physical, this reality is very physical, everything around me that I touch is very physical. But my question to people listening to this: if you think that this body is physical, yet you are only accessing 1% of the known frequency band and light spectrum, and then when you come out of your body and you are in your soul again and you access 100% of the known frequency and the light spectrum, this is why you'll have every out-of-body person that leaves their body to near-death experiencer when they see different color or sound that they've never heard before that they can't explain. Would you say that the 1% is more physical, or the 100% is more physical? You see, once you leave, you are quite literally, like I said before, the infinite, and everything that you think is real here, you realize is not real at all, in terms of this is the illusion. The soul is more real, more tactile, more physical, more everything than what you will ever experience here within your physical body. When I seen one of my relatives that or family members that has passed away, and I hugged them, that touch, that contact was more physical than me touching anybody here. And this goes into a fear narrative where people still think they lose the pleasures of physicality. But the moment you leave the body, it's all the pleasures of physicality with no limitations, and that's the infinite.
Yeah, that makes sense. What people I know, they tell me their biggest fear is losing their individuality. So what I am as Amira, or what you are as Darius, in the infinite level of that goes away. People don't want that to happen. So thank you for clarifying that's not the case. In fact, it remains, but it's infinite. There's no limitation there of just this body-mind complex. So does intention or emotion during an outer-body experience have anything to do with where we go during that experience or how we perceive things? Like, for example, you mentioned that when you hug a family member of yours who has left their physical body, who is no more. So when each of us have an outer body experience, are we able to guide that or steer that movement in any way based on our subconscious desires or emotions or intentions?
Yeah, you are. We all are. This is where it comes into. So the moment that you leave the body, you literally, there is no limitations placed on you. You could say the kingdoms of heaven, the doors of this entire universe construct open up to you. The only limitations of that which you could do and access is the limitations that you place on yourself. So for instance, if you believe that you can be entrapped or imprisoned, or you believe that you can be stopped, or you believe that you cannot access this, then you put yourself in those self-imposed prisons once you leave the body, because there's not one thing in all of creation that could ever stop you, the divine, the divinity, the beginning of all things, the infinite, from accessing whatever it is that you want. And it all comes down with the intention to do so. You see, even physically now, we have what is called, people call the light body within us. So, and you could say we have a small portion of the light body within us, because the more you bring your soul and your consciousness in, the more you bring that into the physical body. We are literally the creators of all light around us in everything. The reason why the sun shines is because of you. The reason why there is light, this light that we see in everything that we're looking at, the reason why there's light is because of you. You are the source of light, and you bring light and life to everything. Quite literally everything. Without you, without your energy, your spark, your soul, your will, there would be no light in anything. So whatever it is when you leave this physical vessel, if you command it to be so, therefore it is so. If you have the intention to access something, therefore you will see those things. Because again, you are all of it. You are the source. And to say that you can't do that would be me saying that you are not the source itself, but you are. You know, and the source is not limited in that way. But yeah, and I like what you brought up before, the body mind complex. This is an important thing as well. You know, we do have, you could say three layers of you could say of this, which is the soul, body, spirit. Yeah. So the soul is the infinite. It is the untouchable. It is the thing that it is you. It is who we are. Then through the soul, you could say the physical body is born, and therefore, you know, the physical body is only born from the soul, its will. And then you have the spirit within the body, which is thought forms, your mind, your what you think, your memories. And so a lot of people are stuck inside of the physical body, mind complex, spirit complex, not realizing that, you know, that is not the infinite of you, that the infinite of you is your soul. And if you tap into that, then you will remember all of these things and access all of your memories again, pretty much. Yeah. And this is where fear derives from, because people are so focused on the physical body, the mind construct, that there's it's pretty much, I mean, the physical body is all things that which you are not, you could say. It gives you the illusion of pain. It gives you the illusion of entrapment, you know. And if you self-identify with that, and that this is all there is to you, then fear is inevitable to be born within you, you know. It's sort of impossible not to be born.
Yeah, whenever I have a friend or a family member, sometimes if they're going through some type of trauma or loss and they tell me that I'm suffering, my first response to them, obviously in a caring way, is that you're not really suffering, because your true nature cannot suffer. But your identification to your mind, like your memories, your thoughts, your reactions, that identification is what is creating that illusion and actually making you suffer. So that identification is what needs to loosen, right? That, again, we are the body, we are the mind, we are our thoughts and memories and our limitations. And that's what causes that fear and that suffering. Before I move on to my next question, there was something that came up, and I want to ask you that. Do you think that, is there only one consciousness that is manifesting as all of these beings, whatever the population is of humans, animals, or are there different consciousnesses? So there's 8 billion consciousnesses of humans or whatever animals are, or again, is there one that's just manifesting as all these? Because that's the question that I get asked a lot as well.
Yeah. So it's a, okay. Let's just go, I'll give you 2 examples here. So the source of all things. So the source of all things is more of like an information field of all things. No different from the internet. So you have a computer, you log onto you go on the internet. That's the internet is the source of all things. So it has all access to every information of all things, of what we, the individual person, put into the internet through our thoughts and what we've experienced, and we sort of put it into the internet in the field of all things. That's the source of all things. And so we are the source of all things, but we are still our own individual source of light of all things itself, that put in information to the source of everything. And so we never really merge in the way of losing ourselves. And in the question that you really asked me, is there one source, or is there, let's just say, billions of sources? And the answer is that there's billions of sources that give information to the internet and the field of all things. Yeah. And that's the answer to that.
In the non-physical dimensions, is it at all possible to encounter entities or human-like forms that seem conscious but are not actual souls, like such as constructs, programs, or something else?
Yes, but yes in this way. So, is it possible to see unconscious things, not in the way that what people may think when I answer yes, or I say yes to this, but in this way. Okay, so we know that we have an electromagnetic field. So when I think of something physically here in my mind right now, I'm thinking of something. I'm thinking of a clown in front of me, for instance. I know it's weird. I'm just going to think of a clown. So right now, you can't see that clown. You can't visually see my thought form. But the moment you come out of the body, if you were in this space and you came out of your body, or you were clinically dead, you would actually see myself sitting here physically, but you will also see my thought form, the clown, where I'm projecting it. So you could say the clown itself, whatever I'm projecting in my thought form, isn't a fully conscious entity of itself, but it still is real. And what you could do is, when you see my thought form, because it's attached to my energetic signature, because it comes from me, you could trace that thought form back to the source itself, which is me. So everything is traced and everything's connected in that way. So it's a yes, but not in the way that people think.
Wow. Yeah, no, that really makes sense. So in a way, you're saying that when you're out of your body, what you're identifying as the constructs that aren't actual souls are, like, for example, your own thoughts, that if you're out of body, if you're having an OBE experience, that you can see someone else's thoughts manifested in that realm, in a way.
Yes, you can. You could see thought forms. But a thought form is still real. Because this is what I was saying before. The reason why there's light in everything, even why the very sun itself that we look at as shining, is because of us. Because the moment we think of something, we don't realize how powerful we are. But when you see this out of your body, you realize, oh my God, I am literally that powerful. But the thought forms itself, you could even give life to thought itself. And you could say, playing in different creations, you could say you could create something based off your thought forms and play with yourself in that way. It's still very real, but it's not in terms of not real in the way that people think. How I answer that question, it's a yes. Everything is still real. All of it is always real. And then this goes into some questions that people will have. Well, how could I tell? And they ask these things. So, like, well, how could I tell base reality from imagination? Because imagination is not real. So, I want tangible, this physical reality. And I say this to them: is imagination not real? Is it not part of you? You see, we are so confined by this 1% of this light spectrum that we think, if it cannot be physically verified in the physical form, that therefore it's not real. But the very imagination is part of who you are. It's real. Everything that exists comes from the very imagination. First, you imagine something. This very notepad that I have came from somebody imagining it. They had a thought and imagination, and therefore they created it to be so in this physical reality. Imagination itself is no different from you itself. or this physical reality. It's all real. Everything's real, and it's beyond the physical senses that we have. Is everything real and true? Yeah.
Wow, thank you for sharing. Just one question. You mentioned imagination. So would that mean that even like our dreams, are those real as well? Because sometimes the dreams, and I'm sure people relate to this, sometimes the dreams we have, we don't think that, oh, like it's just crazy. Like it's like sometimes we don't believe that, oh, what we're thinking that this can be true in any way. It just seems like gibberish. But when you say that there's some truth, there's truth to that as well?
Yeah. Yes. All of it is real, even your dreams itself. You see, there's so much more to you than you could possibly imagine. That when I talk about home, the infinite is literally all things good. It's all things in love. It's everything of all possibilities exist. There's not one limit placed on you. Even your dreams themselves are real. Dreams are typically physical manifestations of your thoughts, your desires, your subconscious things. And sometimes these manifest into dimensional spaces. You could say pockets of a pocket within the very universe itself. It's you actually making a universe within a universe itself. You see, and that's what we are. Within this physical body, we have the ability to even create a multi-dimensional universe here, bridge of light here. We have this ability. You see? For that not to be true, well, then why is it that you could literally program the water within you and the cells within you? We bridge these things. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I wanted to ask another question that came in from our audience. Do animals also have astral bodies and navigate the same non-physical layers we do as humans?
Yes. Animals have a soul. Yes. They all leave as well. Every single night we are all leaving. It's just where is the consciousness? How focused are you? Where is that consciousness? The soul doesn't sleep. So when we fall asleep, the soul isn't just in the body falling asleep and it becomes unconscious. You are always conscious. This is why you have dreams and or you're leaving your body and you have these visions. You are always doing something. There's no such thing as sleep on the other side. Your soul never sleeps. Everything, even the animals themselves, have a soul. Every being in all of creation has a soul. Even the very ant to the insect, all of it has a soul. All of it's alive. Everything's alive.
Yeah, thank you so much for clarifying that. Darius, according to you, what is the biggest risk or trap people encounter when they first begin exploring non-physical states and OBEs?
The biggest trap that they encounter is themselves. Their self-imposed belief systems of that something could entrap and imprison their soul. And that's not true. That is the greatest trap in doing this. Because the moment that you really believe that you can be entrapped or confined, you'll manifest that to be so. Not forever, but you will make all of these fear-based things manifested in your space. That's the biggest trap. Full stop, the biggest trap.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Lastly, Darius, to bring this episode to a close, I wanted to ask you, do you think that the Earth is approaching the end of a major cycle? And what will that mean for the whole of humanity?
Yes, man. Yes, it's reaching a conclusion, a completion. Absolutely. You know, is when you go back, as I've stated in some of the stuff that I've talked about, you go back into past civilizations. There has been completions of before. A realization, a great awakening, ascension, enlightenment, all these different words to say the same thing. And yes, it's coming to that, man. It's actually already here. I mean, think about the stuff that I'm talking about. Think about the stuff that I'm literally, and it's not just me. It's okay. I'm saying this to you, but think about all the people that have experienced that as well. So it's already here. It's in the process of that. Yeah, because it's people remembering themselves, their home, the truth of that. And once that is remembered, there is not one thing of control that would ever exist. You see, the thing is, the reason why there's so much control here is because people are still acting in control of greed, fear, attachments, loss, and therefore, this is why we have systems of control. But the moment you remember who you actually are, that doesn't exist. There is no, once you step into love, then those systems of control just cannot exist. And you step into your true divinity. There is so much more possible with this physical body than what people have been programmed to believe. That, if you could just start doing it at a very small scale, you'll see what they call miracles is possible within the physical body.
In your understanding of the cosmic architecture, why was this realm created in the first place? And I'm curious that if we choose our bodies before incarnation, what was the purpose behind choosing our specific life circumstances?
From what I've seen, this particular creation was created to experience that which we are not. Now, when you hear me state that before, it wasn't necessarily to experience that which we are not in the most extreme ways that we experience right now. Okay, because everybody was it was supposed to be a gradual forgetting process to return back to truth in your home of who you are at some point, and you could say within the creation of that has had unforeseen events to take place as well. Now, do we choose to come in or pre-plan certain things? Yes. But not 100% verbatim everything, but there are preset markers that you set. Let's just say, for instance, getting in a relationship or meeting someone, etc., etc. There are sometimes a lot of preset events within people's lives, and this is why you will even hear children sometimes say to their parents, "Oh, I chose you this time." Yeah. So you'll hear that a lot within certain kids. Now, when it comes to the physical body, you'll hear a lot of things. It's funny because a lot of the things that I talk about, I promise you, I'm not religious. I haven't even I can't even read the Bible or anything, but I'm not. But it comes, a lot of the things that I say are just like, I'm like, okay, well, there you go. But when you look at how they say that we are created in the image of God, okay, I want you to flip that. So let's just say, who is the Father? So what's considered the Father? The Father is considered the God source of things, and therefore,
yeah,
we are created in the image of God. But the Father is actually the soul, which is you, which is every single person is the Father, is the soul, and the source of all things, which is God itself. You could say it's the Father and the mother of all things, which is you. Now, I have noticed that certain individuals tend to come in with a particular, all through different lives or even how their soul looks, there's a certain template that is sort of repeated. And this is why you'll even have people that have died and they come back. You'll hear stories where they have a scar or something, and when they look back into that life review, it's because they were murdered in a certain way and it's presented in the physical body. I have personally noticed that even with myself, I remember looking into certain things, past things within myself, or even other people validating that with me, that they hold a similar look of how their soul looks and how they've looked throughout lifetimes. And that's because we are created in the image of the soul, which is you. And when you return to the other side, just like you like to wear certain clothes or you have your style, so does the soul. It has the style of what it likes to be, and it's picked that template. Now that template's not forever or can never be changed, but it seems to be pretty consistent based off what I've seen, So, hope that answers that.
No, that does, and it really, thank you so much for that explanation. I'm sure it's something that a lot of the viewers were curious about. Darius, I also wanted to ask you, and this is something I'm also curious about. Well, I've always thought about this, but never had a chance to ask anybody. During an OBE, can you shift into a parallel version of your own life or a different timeline? And if so, how would you know which one is your home reality?
Okay. It's not necessarily which one was your home reality. So the question that you're really asking is, or the answer to it is, can we, when we come out of our body, see parallel realities, parallel time events? Now, parallel realities are, yes, they're potential time events in that way. And so can we tap into that and see that 100%? So I've seen things within myself, actions that I would do, or let's just say, for instance, there was, I remember doing a interview. This would have to be a year ago. And I was showing myself coming out of my body, how that would unfold and certain things not to say and etc. And so that in essence is a parallel or potentiality, and we have access to all these things. So it's not necessarily like you'll jump into one when you're out of your body and never get lost, but you could see all these potentials playing out because you have the access to the infinite of possibilities, and also the past as well, and the things that you've experienced in the past. So yeah, you can do those things, but you'll never get lost in them. It's just opening up more of the consciousness in your awareness to see all the things that we can't see physically, and that is also accessing all of those potentials as well. Yep.
Wow. So you can see the different realities and the parallel universes, but you can't actually tap into it in terms of like actually living through that if you wanted to or something like that. That's not possible.
You can do it through, I've experienced it for myself. And again, I don't like to do a lot of theorizing, and so I'm always trying to go back to what I experienced. Is when I experienced myself, I was able to relive certain events. Yes. So can you tap into it in a way where you're living it? Yeah, you can. But from my direct experience, it seems like it's when you tap into a past event, you could step into that fully, as if like feel everything type of deal in that way. Now, can you tap into a future event possibility of time and live it in that way? Yes, you can. But there's still there's a slight difference, like it feels less physical. That's the only way I could describe it. So to answer your question, it's a yes, but it's different in the way that it's felt. And this actually even leads into a whole other statement and answer that you may have not even a question that you haven't even asked yet, but here's an answer to it, is I've identified what potentialities of time. I've identified this. When you're accessing a certain potential, you know when that potential is almost solidified and going to happen, because once you step into that potentiality of time, it feels more solid and more physical, like this physical reality. As when you're tapping into certain potentialities that aren't so solidified, they seem almost like a dream and mystical and less physical and less tangible. And so this is how I've been able to, for myself, even when I'm trying to do these things, see, okay, yeah, that's a very, very high possibility in the 80%, if not 100%, because once I've experienced it, it was so physical and tangible to me. I just knew that that was almost the immediate event to occur. Now, I'm not sure if everything that I said actually makes sense, but I'm trying to make sense of it all and put it into a big picture that people could see. Okay.
No, it really does make sense. Thank you for clarifying that and creating this picture. It helps me understand in a much better way. Darius, I've heard you say that humans are programmed to forget who they are. Why is this so, and who or what made us forget our true nature in the first place?
Us, man. Yeah. It's always been we agreed to have an experience of a temporary forgetfulness. It was always us. You know, that may not be the answer that people want to hear. People want to hear like who are the they, but I won't necessarily get into that on this particular platform. Just for the purpose of so people know, because I respect your platform enough not to want to get it banned. You see. So I won't go into that detail, but the who made us forget the simplest way to understand it was us that has done it. That's the answer to that.
Thank you for that. This is definitely another question that I've personally asked a lot of times, and I'd love to ask you this, Darius. Do you think that suffering is meaningful at the soul level, or is it purely an artifact of forgetting who we are? And how would you explain the existence of evil, violent acts, war, or injustice? Are these glitches, challenges designed for growth, or something else entirely built into the structure of this physical realm?
Suffering comes from the stepping away from love. So the moment you step into here, okay, here we go with the religious stuff again, but it couldn't be any further from the truth. But the moment you come in here, you are sort of tagged in that way through the physical body. They call it you're born in sin or whatever. But then this has been so distorted where it's like, well, you are not the very source of all things, and that's the distortion, you see. But the moment you are born into this physical reality, you could say you are born into a illusion through only the physical body of imprisonment, suffering, etc. And all of these things are born only through the physical aspect, you see. Because once you're on the other side, and or not even in the other side, once you're out of your body, all of a sudden that's not there. You break past all those things, in a sense. So the moment you are born into the body, you are born and you are tagged into sin itself, what they say, which is the suffering, because you're born into that. And because you're never disconnected, but the illusion of disconnection is there. So you have, I'll explain it this way as well. You have two sides. Let's just say the light over here and the dark over here. So the love, freedom, and then you have dark and evil. Now love is what you are. Being is what you are. The infinite is what you are. And in love, what is the source of love? When you go to the source, you try to go to the source, what is love? So it's a definition of, and what is this definition? And everybody has this idea of what love is. Love is joy. Okay, well, that's an aspect of a joy, an aspect of love, but it's not it. And then people say love is loving other people. Yeah, that's a let's just call it a tentacle of love, but it's actually not it. So where is love born from? Where is the source? If you could give it one word, and that one word is freedom. Because in freedom, what is born is you are authentically yourself and just being yourself and free to do in love. And so in what's born from freedom itself is love, joy, being, expression, all of these things that we experience. And courage is a tentacle of love. Yes. Then when you go into what is through the physical body, you see, because that's your home, and then you come into this place, you could say through the veil, and the veil is the physical body, and then your soul is inside the physical body, which gives you only through the physical body the illusions of basically what you are not, in a sense, through, well, this physical body can be harmed. You could have and you could be imprisoned physically. And so in evil itself and fear itself is born from one thing and one thing alone, and that's loss. And so from loss of, you have all of these tentacles from loss, fear, loss, and suffering, pain, the judgment even comes from loss itself too. So that's experienced here to its fullest. Because the moment you see yourself, your home again, you return to all things that are good, all things that are free, and nothing of control, nothing of deceit, nothing of lies. That's done here, but not there. So when you come into that veil, this is what happens. But you could shatter that veil. You could shatter the veil of forgetfulness. You could shatter the veil of all of these things by just remembering who you are. And then when you remember who you are, that comes fully and more into this physical body, and it breaks down the mind, mental gymnastics, the constructs of the mind, and you start operating based off of just being what you are, which is love itself.
Wow.
I know that's a big way of explaining something, but I hope that makes sense.
No, it is a big way, but at the same time, you've explained it in a very clear manner. So thank you for that. Because yeah, you're right. A lot of people, like you said, that they label love as, it's a joy or it's happiness, but that's just little aspects of it. It's or emotions or actions that happen because of who you are, because you are that love, and that is your being. But we kind of labelize it in a way and kind of limit our understanding of it. But thank you so much for explaining it in that way that you did. This is another question that a lot of our viewers.
I just want to say this too. I just want to, if you don't mind, I just want to say this too. And I've said this before, I believe in here, but I want to bring it up again. Is how important being something is. The very act of trying is not being it. Trying is resistance and it's friction. Anytime you have resistance and friction, it's because it's in a static state, and it's not. You're not that. You being yourself is never a static or resistant state. It's always just free. And the moment that you shed this body and you leave it and you realize who you are, the overwhelming freedom comes from, there's no more static, there's no more resistance. I don't have to pretend to be this or that or based off what people may judge me as. I could just be myself in my soul, my divinity, because it gets rid of all that static, all that trying. So any act of trying to be something is actually you being it not. Yeah, that's important because love doesn't try. It's just a constant. It's a constant thing. Love is there because it never stopped loving to begin with. It never stopped loving. Okay.
Beautifully explained. Thank you so much for that. No, it is. Yeah, no, love. As soon as you're right, as soon as you try, you're creating that friction, and it's not the being anymore. It's not what you truly are. You're trying, and then you're creating that friction. So, no, that really does make sense. It's definitely given me some clarity. So, thank you for that. Yeah, and I was asking, this is another question that's very popular amongst our viewers. Would you say that this physical reality, Earth, is a construct, simulation, or some type of training environment?
All right, so simulation. Is it a simulation? No, not in the way that people would say simulation. Not the way, when you ask that question, I know where people's minds are in terms of simulation. And so not in the way that they're thinking, it's a no. But is it a simulation? Yes. But if you detach from the way that it's not real in that sense, because it still is real. It is an illusion. But look at it this way, because this is a question that you get that comes from purely the mind and the thinking type of mentality. Everything from the very beginning outside of all of these things. So you go back to the source of you, and you are just in the, let's just say, the void, the place where there is all possibility. Everything is available to you, and it's manifested like that. As soon as you think about it, it is presented to you, because you are that source and all of those things. So anytime you have a thought in that state, understand this. When you have a thought, you have an imagination. So when you have an imagination, you birth light into creation. And that very birthing of light into creation puts it into a confinement of the very thought and imagination that you had. What you could say is a matrix or a prison in and of itself, because not that you are defined by that imagination, that creation of light, but you are even outside of all thought itself and all prisms of light itself, because you are the one that even makes those things to begin with. So every single thing that you imagine that you will create on the other side, all is a bending of prisms of light for you to enter a certain matrix, for your soul to enter something. Because even in the imagination of something is already a limitation. Do you see? So if I imagine a thought form of something, I put borders, boundaries, and limitations through that prism of light, through that imagination. I define the imagination. And when you define something through thought and through your imagination, you actually give it the borders. And you are not confined within the thought itself. You are outside of it. You are the one making those things, not of it itself. So every single thing that you ever experience, even here, we are in a confinement of a thought. All of this was manifested from a thought of a soul. And now we're in it, and yet we think that we're bound to it, or somehow not able to exit it, or this is a matrix and we're looped and we're stuck. But you are even outside of all thoughts, imaginations, and prisms of light itself. You create it all. Everything from the very thought is a matrix. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. So we're creating our own, in a way, matrix. Like you're kind of saying that our own thoughts, our own imagination, that is limiting ourselves in a way.
Well, it's not a limit. It's not. But the limit is only true when you think that you are bound by the very thought that you had. Then there you go. That's the limit. You see, because you are outside of thought itself. You are the one that even makes thought possible. So if you make something possible, that doesn't mean that you are it itself, that you are outside of those things making those things. But you become imprisoned when you put yourself in the form of that thought is me, and therefore I don't exist beyond that creation or that construct. Then you become imprisoned and limited. Yeah.
Thank you so much for explaining that. That was Really, really helpful. I'm sure that the audience will really resonate with that explanation as well. And previously, you were talking about negative forces. I would love to dive a little bit deeper into that, just ask a question regarding that. Do you think that deceptive or negative forces also exist in other realms? And how does one discern truth from illusion?
Free will would be free. So, you have, everybody has the freedom to do something. But the thing is, once you step beyond and you know yourself, that first and foremost, that's all right. Deception only exists because let's just I'm going to use words so people can understand. Deception only exists because the consciousness that we operate in is so low that deception is manifested that way, because we are not tapping into the source of ourself. Because the moment you step into higher states of consciousness or the source of who you are, then you'll realize that nothing could ever be hidden from you. There's not one thing that could ever be hidden from you once you step into who you are, the truth of things. Deception is only exists because we have, again, through the thought, us thinking that we are limited to a certain aspect and that we can't access all things. And well, therefore, deception is going to be always in front of you. But when you realize your true state, there's nothing deceptive that could ever happen, because for instance, when you are around somebody, you're speaking to somebody in physical life, you have worked on yourself. You know yourself. You're very sensitive. You're intuitive. You know when someone's lying, even though they're saying that they're not lying to you. Because the more that you step into your heart, then you realize, okay, well, if love is truth and truth is love, well, that means, okay, anything that is not authentic is actually not truth, because they're stepping out of love. The moment you step out of your authenticity, you start stepping out of love, which is, part of love itself. And so when you understand, like I said, love itself, that truth, then people that are in that high state of love back to themselves, when you come face to face with somebody that is not authentically being themselves truly, then you could see it, because there's no deception or lies. Even though they may be lying straight to your face, you could see past it, because authenticity, love, is not thought. It cannot be articulated in a logical sense, but it's something that is felt. Authenticity and love is felt, and there's nothing that could ever come between that. No amount of deception could come between that.